Watch the TV up there.
that a kitty? Was that my kitty? Whoa, it's Pinocchio! Yeah, hey, yeah, good job, baby. He's a baby boy. He smells good. And then the left. Love you. Say mama. Mama. Adi.
I'm about to go live. What's working on this?
Girl. How much money stinky ways boy? You get on my nerves, my boy. Rustic.
Spreadsheets due before tonight's game. Calm down. You already done? What? Yeah. Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Mellow in this thing. We got baby girl in this thing. You say hey. You say hey. You say hey. You say hi. What's going on, everybody? Got week 11. Hope everybody cash good in week 10. Let me know what y'all do in week 10, man. What was y'all favorite play? We had a few values that went off. We had the Gibson, McKissick combo. We got Grant with a nice little value play. We got Scantlin with a great value play. We got Alex Smith, awesome play. I'm going back to watch this stack this week, but as you can see below, we got the top plays per position, cash GPP line, and then we also will go and break down with a line of construction for Draftkings and FanDuel with the same plays that we're putting down on the list. So everybody's doing good for tonight. We do have Thursday football, but unfortunately, got so much going on, I can't put a video out for that. But if you have questions about tonight's football, let me know in the stream. So just let me know in the chat room what y'all what type of information you need for tonight's football. But unfortunately, I will not have a video. Of course, it starts in almost in 2 hours. But just want to let y'all know about that right now. How's everybody's day going, man? Who's your favorite play? Who's your favorite stack for week 11? Let me know in the chat. All right. But definitely, please go ahead and share the video. Please like the video, of course. But let's get into it, man. Of course, I will get with the cash plays, GPP plays. We got some good plays for this week, y'all. But let me go ahead and set everything up. Hold on, I got my man Brad in this thing. He might pop up. He might pop up throughout the video, so he'll get some input from man Brad. So, but yeah. Let me go ahead and share this live video. Let's see. Let me see. Share. Week 11 plays, y'all. I think I had the old whatchamacallit. I had the old cover as my picture from last week, so I made changes with that. But nonetheless, let's do this, man. Hope everybody's doing well. I gotta make edits on this thing. Alright, bear with me. Make a few edits on the screen. There we go. Hey, baby girl. All right, let's do this, man. Let's go to the quarterback spot, in which we got a few quarterback spots. Of course, we got Lamar Jackson at 7,300 on DraftKings. He is 8,400 on FanDuel. Of course, it's a good play for him. It's a bounce back play for Lamar. He did have 23 last go around, but he did a better play against Titans. But of course, he'll be a cash play. I'm not really going to go with this route with 7,300. But he's still an obvious great play to consider for your lines. And I think that Madden curse is getting to him, y'all. What y'all think? I don't know. All right, make sure everything's straight on my end. Let's go to my first nice little cash play. We got Justin Herbert Going against the Jets, we already know what he can do here against the Jets. Now, looking at the Jets, they allow 287 passing yards a game, 1.8 touchdowns allowed a game, 25 completion per game with a 72.4 completion percentage. Again, they allow 72.4 completion percentage to quarterbacks this season. All right, a 26.3 fantasy points allowed when they are away as well. So Justin Herbert at home, he's averaging 28.5 fantasy points so far for the season at home. Last time he played at home was against the Raiders. He had 26 fantasy points against the Raiders with 2 touchdowns. Then he had a big game against Jacksonville. We had 41 fantasy points against Jacksonville with 3 touchdowns that game. Another game at home, he had, even though it was a lost battle. First game of the season when he played the Chiefs at home. He had 26 fantasy points, 311 yards. Carolina, he had 20 fantasy points at home. So this guy is definitely a great play overall. So like this play for Justin Herbert. All right, at 6,800, still a great play. Will be cash, but nonetheless a great play to consider for your lines. Yes, sir. All right, let me go ahead and add that to my position plays, as you will see it below me, just in case if people are coming on the chat throughout the video, you'll still see my top plays underneath me. So let's keep it going. All right, now next play we got Ben Roethlisberger at 6,700. All right, now he's $100 less, but you saw what he did last game. Oh man, he balled out of control last game, man. The whole squad balled out last game against the Bengals. 32 fantasy points, 4 touchdowns against the Bengals last week. Now he's playing against Jacksonville. But one thing about Jacksonville, they actually play better at home, but they still give up around 25.5 fantasy points allowed for the season. 20.6 fantasy points allowed when at home. They allowed 289 yards so far for the game for the season. 2.1 passing touchdowns allowed a game. 70.2 completion percentage allowed a game to the opposing quarterbacks. This is a great game to target for Big Ben. Last time he played Jacksonville, that was 2018, but even at Jacksonville then, he had 27 fantasy points. 3 interceptions that game, y'all, but he had 2 touchdowns, 314 yards. Great play to look at with Ben Roethlisberger. All right, in this play here, still be a cash spot here, but nonetheless, a great play to consider. All right, so we'll look at Big Ben as a cash play. All right, got Big Ben. All right, now going to the next play. Next play, we do have Kirk Cousins. All right, now Kirk Cousins, $6,200. Still a good spot. Knowing he's playing against Dallas. Dallas do allow more fantasy points. Went away. Actually got better though. But Kirk Cousins is averaging 20.5 fantasy points in the past 5 home games. Now looking like the last game he played at home, he played Detroit. He had 21 fantasy points against Detroit. 3 touchdowns that game. Then he played ATL, which he had 30 fantasy point game against ATL. 3 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Then he played Tennessee. He had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against Tennessee. And then he played at home again against Green Bay in Week 1. He had 23 fantasy points Week 1. So 6,200 for Kirk Cousins. I think he'll be low owned. I think a lot of people not gonna really look his route, but still a good spot for Kirk Cousins to do work here, especially with Justin Jefferson, and you also have Adam Thielen in the mix. He's definitely in play to give another 3 touchdowns, and he probably still give interceptions here, but he has the weapons around him with Dalvin Cook, man, that he should definitely load up with some fantasy points here. He could give you a 21 plus fantasy point game here. Dallas do allow 2.2 passing touchdowns allowed a game to opposing quarterbacks as well. So Kirk Cousins, great play overall. $6,200 if you need to pay down in pricing. But still like this play knowing that he will be lower owned, because I think a lot of people just don't trust Kirk Cousins. But as you can see, last time he played, mean, against ATL, but I mean, of course, ATL is one of the worst teams in the league, but still, I mean, he was able to. It's going to be a throw-in type of game. Well, it really depends on Andy Dalton here, but if it gets too out of control, of course, they might stick to the running game with Madison and Dalvin Cook. So that could probably hinder his price tag. But $6,200 is still a good spot to consider here, knowing he's lower owned, but he has the ability to give you 20 plus fantasy points in this matchup against the Cowboys, in which look like they just fed up with the season. Of course, Cousins still a good spot here. Just cash, because I really don't see as much of a big upside, only because of a potential blowout. But if it's not a blowout, if it's a like how it was with the Steelers, and how the Cowboys actually made it a great game, to where if they could keep this in the air, both sides, they both in good place. I mean, we already know how Minnesota is. Minnesota is not really a great defense team against the pass attack, to where if Andy Dalton is hot, then this is going to be a nice little contrarian play. You're going to look at Andy Dalton as a GPP play. We haven't seen it yet, but against Minnesota, they're one of the worst defenses against the pass attack. We all know that. Let's look into the defense ranking so I can show you some proof. But looking at the pass attack, of course, we got the Seahawks, and then let's go to Minnesota. They're 26 allowed in passing touchdowns allowed. So that's a big thing. So where if Andy Dalton could be a contrarian play, you want to look at Andy Dalton on that side. But it's going to be a good game if they can keep it close. But Kirk Cousins is still a great play at 6,200.
Take a shower before my class.
Okay, where's she at?
She's right behind you. So I'm gonna put the gate up.
All right. All right, now we have Alex Smith. Just a moment, y'all. Let me.
Baby, stop.
Hold on, y'all. Just a moment.
Go upstairs. Let me go to Daddy.
Mellow beat.
All right, y'all. Let's get right back into it. Sorry about that. My daughter was crying, so I didn't want to have that be an issue. So let's get back into these plays. Looking at Alex Smith, y'all. Great spot for Alex Smith once again. Now, had 390 yards last week, y'all. No touchdowns. This is a great spot going against the Bengals. Like we saw what Big Ben was able to do here. Alex Smith has been on a roll. If he could get 2 touchdowns, y'all, he could definitely clear value and give you great upside. $5,300 for Alex Smith, who's in a good spot. All right, going against Bengals. Let's look at the Bengals here, in which the Bengals allow 268 passing yards a game, 2.3 passing touchdowns a game. They allowed 308 passing yards a game in the last 4 games, 3.5 passing touchdowns allowed in the past 4 games. They also allowed 27.5 fantasy points allowed a game to quarterbacks. 24.9 fantasy points allowed win away so far for the season. So Alex Smith, great spot. Love the Washington stack as well, y'all. So good spot to consider here for your lines is Alex Smith. $5,300 is too cheap for what he could produce on the field. So going to go back to the well here for Alex Smith as a GPP play. Just so cheap. And also will be in the stacks. I'm gonna definitely put Washington in the stacks list as well. So let me go ahead, put Smith, GPP. Also looking at my favorite stacks, I definitely like Washington as a favorite stack. We also stated with Herbert, I love the Chargers as a nice stack as well with Chargers. Also we could talk about Steelers. Chris, favorite stack here with Steelers. I'm more likely going to have more Steeler stack than a Charger stack. So I think Pittsburgh is still going to be a good spot here. Washington, Pittsburgh, great stacks for your lines for this week. So let's look into the next position. We got James Winston. All right, now James Winston, he had 2 fantasy points last game. I really feel like, I said it also on my Twitter, I really feel like he was as shocked as everyone else with Breeze. I think he had rib injuries to where I really feel like he didn't do his part to study the game, study his position, to where he got caught red-handed not doing his job, and it showed. 63 yards, 10 pass attempts. This guy was embarrassing on the field. Now, knowing that he's now starting, going against a weak ATL defense, this is where he could probably step up and do what he's supposed to do here. Now, looking at ATL, it's obviously going to be a chalky play with James. A lot of people are going to be scared, but still have some sprinkle of James Winston here against ATL out of all teams. $5,900 for a guy that can have great potential play. Now, looking like last time he played ATL, he had some good upside here. He had 29 last season. He had 29, 17, 29, 17 in the last 2 games last season. Even 2018, he averaged 35 fantasy points in the last 2 games in 2018 against ATL. He had 26, 23, 27. Like, he has great history against ATL. I really feel like he just wasn't. He was I really feel like he was just actually caught off guard of actually starting. I think he played. He was on the bench. Didn't realize. He didn't expect Breeze to be out. He expected that maybe Breeze will probably get hurt, but probably come back in. And you could tell that Winston didn't do his part. But knowing that he's going to be starting in this play for this week, more prepared, this could be a great connection with Winston and also with Michael Thomas. Like, Michael Thomas is destined to blow. And I'm looking at Michael Thomas as his go-to guy. Also, you got like Emmanuel Sanders and what's his name? This other guy name. Was it Smith? Trayvon Smith or something? Forgot his name. But you got those 2 guys to where they could, and also got Cook. So he has the tools to give you upside in this play, especially against the Falcons, y'all. You already know it's going to be an aired out game. And then on top of that, you have Kamara. So he has no excuses here. 2.4 passes, touchdowns allowed to opposing quarterbacks from ATL. They allowed 29.8 fantasy points allowed a game, y'all. And they playing away. They give up 29.8 fantasy points win away for the season so far. So it's a great spot to look into for Winston. I will have a few plays with Winston. I'm not saying go all the way in, because this guy is known to F up. He's like a Brett Favre, a modern Brett Favre. He can have the most touchdowns and the most interceptions in the game. So on that note, I will say still have some Winston in your lines here, but nonetheless, still a great GPP line, because he has, even though he has a low floor, he has a high ceiling, especially in this type of matchup. He has a high ceiling against Falcons, y'all. So love this play for Winston here at 5,900, as he potentially could do justice here in this play. Let's see who else we can consider. Like I said before, Andy Dalton. All right, we'll go down to Andy Dalton here. He is almost bare minimum pricing next to Jake Luton. Andy Dalton, $5,300. All right, now going against Minnesota, we all know how Minnesota's real weak against quarterbacks. Like quarterbacks, they allow 278 passing yards a game, 2.1 touchdowns allowed, 25.7 fantasy points allowed at home this season, y'all. So keep that in mind. Like Andy Dalton, this is a good spot for him, man. I mean, if he could do well, I mean, he hasn't obviously. Cowboys lost the last 4 games. 4 games straight? This is embarrassing. Definitely embarrassing for him, but if you expect to have a contrarian play with Dallas against Minnesota, you still have Cooper. You have a great play with a nice little value play with Michael Gallup at what 70? I think it was like $3,700. It's just so cheap on Michael Gallup. And then on top of that, you have like Schultz and he got weapons too. So Andy Dalton, and then you have Elliott, and Minnesota is one of the worst team defenses. So could go with Andy Dalton at 5,300 as a contrarian piece for your lines. If you want to go, want to go against the grain, especially on GPP tournaments. That's definitely a play where you want to go against the grain here if you're looking at Andy Dalton. All right, Andy Dalton is definitely a GPP look at. So he's in a potential play to do well. So if you want to go that route, you can. I will have a maybe one line with Dallas. I might have a one line Dallas play. Not saying I'm gonna go all the way in, but I do feel like he's in a great spot to do well. And of course a lot of people's not gonna look at Andy Dalton, but anytime going against Minnesota or just a great defense overall, you got to consider these type of plays, even if you're uncomfortable. That's what a GPP is all about, y'all. GPP is all about being uncomfortable, but then when they go off, you look like a genius when they go off. But you know what I'm saying? Like you look like a genius when they go off, but if they suck, hey, you tried your shot, and that's all that matters, y'all. You tried your shot. So. All right, so let's look at some other cash plays. You got Deshaun Watson at $6,500. I really don't feel like you have to go that route with Watson. I mean, you got Fuller, you got Brandon Cooks is also in a great play. $6,500 for a guy, but he has potential to do justice, y'all. Like he's averaging 282 passing yards a game. Let me see what else he's at. He's just got a expensive price tag. Where is he at? $6,500. So let's see. Who am I talking about? Winston's going against. Sorry about that, y'all. He's going against the Patriots. So let me look at the Patriots defense real quick. Patriots defense. They're actually pretty good. They're actually green all around. So he's in a tough spot. They got green all around. Like Patriots. Let's see. Patriots are second in interceptions, 5th in points allowed, 12th in yards, 8th in passing yards, 1st in pass attempts, 3rd in pass completions, 8th in passing touchdown. He's in a tough spot, y'all. So I was saying, I don't think you have to go to Deshaun Watson. So looking at the Patriots, they allow 68% completion percentage, 1.6 passing touchdowns allowed. So they're actually not really giving up a lot. So, but they allow 22.4 fantasy points allowed went away. So if you want to look at that stat, then you can. But yeah, that's why I can see in that end. Who else am I looking at? Cam Newton? Not really sure about Cam Newton. Phillip Rivers, against Green Bay Packers. I don't really know about that. Kirk Cousins, Flacco. Ryan Tannehill against the Ravens. Nah. Jake Luton. He had 25 against Houston and then had a 10 against Green Bay. Not really on that. Not really on Baker Mayfield. Not really on Burrow against Washington. So, Rodgers. Those are the plays I'm looking at so far at quarterback. Let me know what you think. Who do you like at quarterback? Let me know in the chat. But so far, this is what I like so far. In stacks, injury. We gotta look at the injury watch list. I have that in my watch list. Alright, so let me get right back to you in a short moment. Give me about 2 minutes and we'll get to the running backs. Alright.
Mellow beat.
Let's get right back into it. All right, let's go into our running backs. All right, let's get to the running backs. I love this week, man. I think it's going to be a nice week for us this week. We got great value plays to consider as well. Let's get some good juju in the chat, man. Oh, I think we got an update. Is Tyler Lockett playing tonight? Okay, he is playing. Chris Carson is out. Homer is out. So definitely, if you're playing tonight, look at DJ. Our guy DJ, man. He's in a great play, y'all. So DJ should be starting. Good spot to consider, y'all. So Let me make some adjustments real quick, and then we get right into it.
Mellow P.
All right, let's get into it. Sorry, y'all had to make adjustments in tonight's showdown. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I cannot do a video on that. I couldn't do a video today. Like I said, I do have information. So if you want any plays, I will put it in the chat room for tonight's showdown. So let me go ahead and put it down here. Let you know my plays for tonight's showdown. All right, I'll put it in the chat room for y'all, so bear with me. Showdown plays. I will have Murray, Fitzgerald, Kurt, Edmonds, I will have Russell in the mix. Russell Wilson. Talking about DJ Dallas. We do have Lockett, obviously, if you want to go that route with Lockett. Also like the kickers with Gonzalez. Gonzalez and Myers is also great plays. All right, and then we have Arnold as a nice little value play. If you want to go Arnold. All right, so those are my plays, y'all. Those are my favorite plays in the chat room. If you want to play the showdown, those are my favorite plays. All right, so let's get into some football with the running backs real quick. Import. She is see what he could see, and all that she could see. When the fire on me to see. Chi. All right, let me add $5 more. All right, now look into the first play, Mike Davis. All right, Mike Davis for 6,800, knowing that McCaffrey is out still. No changes on that end. Mike Davis going against. Let's look at the running game. Mike Davis is going against Detroit. Now looking at Detroit, in which Detroit are allowing 29th in rushing yards, 27th against rush attempts. They're last in rushing touchdowns allowed. They're 31st in red zone touchdowns, 30th in red zone touchdown percentage. Like, this is an obvious great game for Mike Davis. Now, of course, Mike Davis hurt a lot of people. I didn't play Mike Davis last week, but I understand why y'all played Mike Davis last week going against Tampa. But he's in a better play against Detroit now. If he's gonna do justice, he's only $100 more in a better position, obviously. So, but then again, the Bucks defense, like their front seven, is a good defense in the front seven. But I think a lot of people went that route because of the fact that McCaffrey went out, and that's an obvious value play. But of course, he had 16 last go around against Tampa. He had 16 fantasy points. And that's when he had 4K. That was week 2. But knowing that you're going against Detroit allows 128 rushing yards a game, 26 attempts, 1.4 touchdowns allowed to the running backs this season. They are last against this. And also 36.1 fantasy points are allowed when away. So it's a good spot for Mike Davis again at 6,800 if you want to go this route. I like this play for Mike Davis. So Mike Davis, great spot to consider for your lines here. So we'll have him as a cash play. Mike Davis. Double check. Hold on real quick. What's going on? Sorry about that, y'all. My daughter's all over the house, so I didn't want y'all to see me out the chair making noise. So Sorry about that. Let me get right back into it. Going to the next spot here, in which if you want to look at, you go back to the well with, we got a three-headed dragon once again with the Colts. Not really sure who I want to go with here with the Colts, but man, it's tough because we had Nakeem Hines that went off, and then of course that whole birthday narrative to where he actually bought out on his birthday. Then we got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is the running back. He is the starting running back, but he only had 43% snaps, averaging and 52% touches. Now looking at everyone else on this team, let's see. We do have. Let me see Hines. What's Hines looking like? Hines got 40% touches, 35% snaps. And then we have Wilkins. Let's see about Wilkins. Wilkins only got 58% touches, 21% snaps. So it seems as if Jonathan Taylor's still getting the majority of snaps. But it's a tough one to call. No, he's cheaper this go around. 5,800 against Green Bay. And we know Green Bay is one of those teams that they are not a good team against running backs. Now I'm trying to see who has more of an arsenal per se. Like Jonathan Taylor, he really doesn't get that much targets in the passing game. He's only averaging 2.7 targets a game in passing. But looking at his running game, he's averaging 12.6 carries a game. Now playing against the Titans last week, he only had 7 carries. Baltimore, he had 6 carries, and it's just real inconsistent in the backfield. But then again, he had 22 fantasy points against Minnesota in week 2. I guess that's when they were just trying to figure out who they want to go with later down the line. Of course, like I said before, really the first couple weeks were like a preseason. Of course, there wasn't no preseason this year, so week 1 and week 2 is basically like a preseason, trying to figure out who they roll with throughout the week. What's up, Mustang? What's up, my man? Appreciate you, bro. And then on top of that, it's just a tough backfield. But going against Green Bay is allowing 100.6 rushing yards a game, 6 receptions allowed, 1.2 touchdowns allowed to the running backs, 34.2 fantasy points are allowed when away. So Packers give up a lot. And the question is, who's the guy that's going to step up? Now, if I look at Hines, right, if he's getting more receptions a game, so looking at Hines, he's averaging 4.6 targets a game. 4.6 targets a game, 3.7 receptions. Last game against Tennessee, he had 5 receptions for 45 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in that game. Hines could be a factor here once again. He's only 5,200, so he's still cheaper than Jonathan Taylor, and he's more of a pass attack running back, and that's the way you have to attack the Packers, is having Smith is not going to choke, bro. Like, he ain't choking the last 2 games, so I like Smith, bro. I think Alex Smith is definitely a GPP play to look at for your lines, man. But I definitely think that, Alex Smith is definitely in play. He definitely in play this week. But looking at, like I said, bro, looking at Nakeem Hines once again, he had 29 last go around. He's still cheap. He was 4,500 last week. Don't get me wrong, but he's still 5,200, where he got a great upside. As you can see in the last 3 games, he had 21 and 21, 6, and 29 in the last 3 games. So Nakeem Hines is definitely in play here. I more likely like Nakeem Hines as a GPP play only because he's cheaper. He's going to be lesser owned because of the fact that, just in the fact that they, it's a 3-head dragon. People really don't know how to go about this. Let's see Wilkins real quick. Let me look at Wilkins real quick before I make this judgment. Wilkins is not getting that much targets in the game, so I think Nakeem Hines once again is a great play here. at $5,200. So I'm gonna go back here with him. So let me go ahead and go GPP. I think you can go Hines just because of his upside. Of course, Hines is gonna be. Hines will be. He will be a high risk, but that's what GPPs is all about. GPPs is all about high risk, big rewards. So, if something to consider here. All right, let's get into the next play. All right, let me go back to Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if I want to go to James Conner at $6,600 for Conner. I mean, he's just a great cash play, but even in good plays, he didn't step up to the plate here. I mean, he had Cincinnati last week. He had Dallas in week 9. Now Jacksonville is still a good spot to bounce back at. They allow 34 fantasy points at home. But the thing about Conner is he doesn't. The Jaguars is a good team to target if you're a pass attack running back. He only averaging 3 targets a game, and on top of that, they got so many weapons in the passing game to where it's hard to try to see if he'll have an upside game here. But Jacksonville's allowing 6.6 receptions a game to the running backs. That's the thing. Conner is not a pass attack running back. Yes, sir. It's the luck of the draw. Yes, sir. James Conner. I think he's a cash play, but I'm not really sold on him. Also, Baltimore against Tennessee. That's also a good game to consider for the running game, but they have so many 3-head dragons. But there's so many 3-head dragons, y'all. You got, who the hell do Baltimore have? Baltimore has Dobbins. They have Dobbins, Edwards, and who else? Ingram. You don't know who's gonna take off, and I really don't want to go that route there. See, as you can see, none of them Dobbins got 44% snaps, 30% touches. Ingram got 20. He has 50% touches, but 27% snaps. And then you have Gus Edwards, 33% snaps, 46% touches. And they all in great plays. But the only person that has been giving you upside was Gus Edwards. He had 8, 10, and 15 in the last 3 games. Everyone else has been done. But it's tough to call with Ravens here. Say Cole. Cole's a damn good play, and Conner, Cole is definitely a good play here. We'll get to the we'll get to the running the court. I'm sorry, we'll get to the receivers, but I definitely like Cole once again for this week. He's too cheap to be ignored here. All right, but let's go to the Patriots. I was talking to my man Brad earlier for the Patriots, in which you got Rex Burkhead. You got Damian Harris. Now, Harris, he was limited in practice today, which concerns me once again. Let me look at the news for Damian Harris. So it says he was limited in practice Wednesday. He was limited in practice last week. But then again, he was limited in practice last week, and he had 22 carries, 121 yards over the Ravens, y'all. So, of course, you got Sony Michel. He comes off injury reserve ahead of this Sunday's game against the Texans. But the way Harris has been running off late, it seems likely that he'll continue to head New England's ground game in the coming weeks. In any case, Harris' limited involvement in the team's passing game means that his fantasy utility going up hinges him seeing double-digit carries. All right, so apparently he's questionable, but he's always been questionable in the past 2 weeks. But nonetheless, I still like Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead in the last 2 games, he's been definitely carrying the load. 23 last game, 16 last week. I'm sorry, in week 9. So 23 and 16 in the last 2 games. and he's been real involved in the red zone opportunities. That's the reason why I like Rex Burkhead, because he's been that guy. It's like he's the cleanup man for the team, you know. So that's the reason why I like him the best, because he's more of the cleanup man on this team, and he's still cheap at $4,600 for Rex Burkhead. Back here, man, like Houston's allowing 29.6 fantasy points allowed at home against the running backs, 154 rushing yards allowed a game. So that's my thing about it. That's the way you have to attack Houston. And the fact that it's 154 rushing yards a game, Rex Burkhead is not that guy. You know, he's the guy that he gets the red zone opportunities, in which he had one red zone touchdown. He had one red zone receiving touchdown, and he also had a red zone rushing touchdown. So Rex Burkhead, 4,600, still has good opportunity. But Damien Harris, knowing that he gets the most of the load, and he's been giving you like 100 running yards a game. Like against Kansas City Chiefs, he had 100 rushing yards. He had 102 rushing yards against Buffalo. Out of all teams against Ravens, he had 121 rushing yards, but no touchdowns, man. And if he had a touchdown against Baltimore, easily great upside against them. But he only had 15. But yeah, definitely like this game. But looking at Rex Burkhead, once again, I think it's a great spot for him. So I'm going to say, let's see, right? I'm going to go Rex Burkhead, GPP, Harris, cash. I'll also go into the injury watch list that I have and also put down New England. We got Harris, who's questionable. All right, so let's go ahead and put that in there. All right, let's go to a next play. Oh my God, talking about football news. You have to talk about football news. What you mean, Mark? Come on now. You have to know the news, buddy. All right, let's get into the next play here. Now, if you want to look at Zeke Elliott, he's in a dome play. That's one thing about Minnesota. It's still like they're playing at home because it's in the dome. And looking at Minnesota, they allowed 28.7 fantasy points at home for the season, around 24% in attempts a game. So I guess that's more so carries. Looking at Zeke, he's averaging 16.7 carries a game. I mean, even though he had 8 and 9 the last two games against Philly and against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had 19 carries, 18 carries in those two games. If he get a couple touchdowns, and even with that workload, he can still be that play here. Vegas pissed off Casey. So if you want to look at this play here, go back to the well with Zeke. I mean, I feel like he's going to be chalky. I mean, he's 6,500 for a Zeke play. But knowing that, he's still getting the carries, even though with the slope, like Rams 28, Atlanta 23, Cleveland 22, Giants 24. Then he just had a dud in the last 4 games. This looks like a bounce back game for Elliott here. Especially with Andy Dalton back in the mix. Like I was saying, if you want to go with a contrarian play, and go to Cowboys and with Andy Dalton, this could be a spot for Zeke Elliott for a cash spot here. Go ahead, put him as a cash play. Zeke. All right, and then let's look at our next spot here. All right, let's look at DeAndre Swift. I think a lot of people might go to DeAndre Swift here because of last week when he had 26 fantasy points. He is questionable. He didn't practice Thursday, which is concerning. So So let's look at why he didn't practice. So I guess he had an issue with his concussion issue. So they're not sure if he will. Said Swift wasn't included in the Lions' initial Week 11 injury report that was released Wednesday. So it looked like he had a concussion, maybe in practice, because he wasn't in the injury report for Week 11. So it looked like he might have had a concussion in practice, or he may have experienced symptoms of a head injury coming off last week's win over Washington. But that could be an issue here. So we gotta keep in mind with Swift here, because of course, if that's the case, they have Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, and we all know, man, this is a lot of three-head dragons here. But of course, I guess the next man that probably go up will be Adrian Peterson. But looking at Carolina, they allow 108 rushing yards a game, 6.7 receptions, 1 touchdown allowed a game, 26.8 points allowed at home for the season. So if you want to go with this play, we got to look at DeAndre Swift here, if he's going to play, because he's averaging around 4.3 targets. And that's the way to try to hit this team. And I think this is the way to go with DeAndre Swift. And finally, they got a running game in Detroit. And that's one thing about Detroit. You need to have a running game there. So DeAndre Swift is in play here at 6,400 as a nice cash play. But if he's not playing, we have to consider elsewhere. So we'll look at him as a cash play. But like I said, he will be in the injury watch list. So I'm going to put him in the watch list underneath Harris. So let's go ahead and put Detroit. Swift. He's questionable. He had a concussion issue. So Swift is in the concussion issue. Let's go ahead and put him in the play. So he'll be more of a cash play for his price tag. All right, let's keep it going. You say you feel bad for Cousins. Why you feel bad for Cousins? All right, let's keep it going. Let's see who else is in play. All right, we got Salvin. I think Salvin Ahmed for the Dolphins. He definitely showed out last week. He had like 16 fantasy points, which is probably, you might not think is a lot, but for a guy that's 4,800 this week, is intriguing for him. 16 fantasy points last week, and he's only 4,600. 4,800. Is he 4,800? Yeah, 4,800. He's 4K last week. He had 21 carries against the Chargers with a touchdown. I mean, this is the type of play you want to have with a guy with this type of value, and he's only $4,800, y'all. So, looking at Denver, they do allow 103 rushing yards a game, 24.3 attempts allowed, with 25 fantasy points allowed at home for the season against running backs. Let me look into the defense rank. I'm looking to the defense rank for for the Broncos. Broncos are they're pretty in the middle of everything. They're 22nd against rushing yards, 23rd against rush attempts, 19 against rushing touchdowns, 21st against red zone attempts. They're middle of the pack defense, but with a guy that got so much value, especially on Miami, and then of course you got a couple injuries on Miami to where like Preston Williams still out. Could be a viable play for him here still. I think Ahmed is still a great spot here, great value play. So I think Ahmed will be an awesome play to look into for your lines here. Oh, he hasn't won a game. Yeah, Kirk Cousins' career is not promising. But for DFS, I'm not a Minnesota fan, so I'm okay with that. I don't care about him like that. I think Ahmed. Let's see, Ahmed is probably a good cat. He's a good GPP play, I think. He's real cheap. All right, let's look into some more plays. Now, okay, now we got, let's go into Washington, in which I do like what's his name? Baby girl, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, baby. Your mama's doing her homework. Calm down. So we got like JD McKissick. All right, DJ. Huh?
Orange. Orange.
Yeah.
Orange.
Mhm. Orange.
Amazing.
Yeah, orange. Whoa, see the orange? I ate the rest of the orange. But looking at JD McKissick, like this guy is only 5,200. He was cheaper last week. He was on my radar. He had 17 and 18 in the last 2 games. He's one of those guys is more likely he's more of a pass catcher running back. Like he doesn't really affect Gibson like that because he's averaging 6.7 targets a game. But in the last 4 games, he's averaging 9.3 targets. Just the last 2 games alone, Giants, he had 14 targets against the Giants, and then he had 15 targets against Detroit. Now you're going against Cincinnati. I don't even look at him as a running back because he's more effective in the passing game. And of course, with other guys in the passing game for the Washington football team, you got McLaurin, you got Cam Sims. McKissick is another guy here. He's getting the dump passes from Alex Smith, which is saving his butt on that. You know, Alex Smith is one of those guys. He doesn't really like to take a lot of risk. So to have a J.D. McKissick that, even though he's a running back, he's still effective in the passing game. And then looking at Cincinnati, they are allowing 115 rushing yards a game, which does help Gibson. So if you want to look at Gibson, I still think Gibson's still a great play. Gibson is averaging around 11 carries a game. He did have 2 touchdowns against Detroit, so that's the thing though. This is a good 2-headed horse with Gibson and McKissick here, and he also is getting those red zone plays. He has 4 red zone rushing touchdowns for this season. So McGibson's still a great guy in the red zone. So both of these 2 guys are still valuable plays in the running game. So definitely want to consider this. So go ahead. Gibson, McKissick are still great spots here. That's why I like the Washington's team. Washington team is definitely in play this week. Gibson and McKissick. Now I think Gibson, he still has upside. He had 23, 14, and 22 in the last 3 games. He even has price tag, like he's 5,800. So it's not like you're getting a guy that's in the 6K range. He's still giving you upside for his price tag. And a lot of people, if you want to know, I'm sorry, hold on, y'all. And if you want to look in the sense of, what was I trying to say? If you want to look in the sense of upside, Draftkings always look at guys for upside. If you're looking at times 3 of their price, times 4 is to me a GPP play. Anybody with their price tag times 4 to me is a great upside play. So if you think that McKissick can give you 20 fantasy points, that's obviously a great play. Gibson, same thing for Gibson. But these 2 guys that's one thing I like about these 2 guys. They don't really affect each other because you got Gibson that still gets the carries. He still gets the red zone opportunities. And you got J.D. McKissick that's just one of those running backs that's real effective in the passing game. McKissick, he reminds me like a Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson when he was on Washington. That's how he's playing his role as like a Chris Thompson. And Chris Thompson wasn't really in the whole type of running back. He was just always on the passing routes. All right, so definitely both guys in play in cash, in my opinion. So you could go back to the well here with McKissick and also Gibson. They both in good price ranges. It's not like Gibson's in the 6K range to where, he's still in a viable spot here. He can still give you over 15 fantasy points. I think both guys are viable to give you over 15 fantasy points. If you need somebody in the 5K range, both of these guys are in play. But I definitely think cash here. All right, so let's go to our next spot. Dalvin Cook. All right, nice. Top guy of the charts. 9K. Are you going to pay 9K for a Dalvin Cook? That is the question. And one thing about Dalvin Cook, he can hit you in the head like he did against Green Bay, like he did against Detroit. Going against Dallas, at home against Dallas, is what he's about. He averages more at home. Like he had 30 against the Titans in week 3. He had 22 against the Packers in week 1, and then he bust their heads again in week 8 with 52 fantasy points, 4 touchdowns, 163 rushing yards, 63 receiving yards. This guy was everywhere. And then he played Detroit, and once you thought that he was going to give you a 52, he gave you a 42, 2 touchdowns, 22 carries, 206 rushing yards, then 46 receiving yards. Like, this guy is all over the place. Now he's going against Dallas. Dallas is allowing 126 rushing yards a game. So if he's getting 200 from Detroit, 163 from Packers, Cook should do justice here against Dallas. He did play them last season. That was week 10 last season. He had 26 carries, 97 rushing yards, 7 for 7 in the passing game, 86 receiving yards and a touchdown against Dallas last season with 31 fantasy points. So if you look at it in the sense of a value, like I said before, times 3 value, times 4 value, times 4, that's 36 fantasy points, right? Yeah, times 4, 9 times 4, 36, 9 times 3, 27. So all he needs is giving you 27 fantasy points. He could give you 27 plus. Like, he could give you 30 plus in this match, knowing that he's all over the place. So I'm not saying go all the way in with Dalvin Cook. I'm not saying go all the way in, but I will say still have Dalvin Cook in a few of your lines because he could mess up your slate. He could hit you with another 40 plus fantasy point game, and there's a lot of value this week. That's the one thing about this week. There's a lot of value this week to where you can pay up for a Dalvin Cook and other expensive plays for the slate and still cash. So I'll say still have a Dalvin Cook in your lines because if he goes off, you're still in the run. But if you don't have him and he goes off 42, 52 fantasy points, your line is going to drown. All right, that's the bottom line. Your line is going to drown. So I will say go ahead and plug in some Dalvin Cook. My man Mark said he has some of my plays in his GPP. I appreciate you, bro. You know how we do, boy. You over there cashing. I see Mark over there cashing, man. He been cashing in a couple weeks. That's awesome, bro. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and change my camera. My camera's getting a little darker. It's getting darker outside. There we go. We go. Position plays. Let's go ahead and plug in our guy Cook. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Let's go. I think that's about it that I'm looking at. Appreciate you, Mark. We got Balaj from the Chargers going against the Giants. I said Giants going against the Jets. We got Kalen Balaj. I thought he was going to do good against his prior team. He did. He had 18 carries, 15 fantasy points. He didn't get a touchdown. If he got a touchdown against Miami, he would definitely have been one of those top plays from last week. And then he had 16 against the Raiders. Once they called his name, man, he's definitely been pulling his weight. I mean, week 9? He was only $200 in week 9. I think that was more so a showdown, but he still had 16 fantasy points that game. Then he had 15 against his prior team with Miami. Now he's going against the Jets. Looking at the Jets, they allow everything. They allow 101 rushing yards a game, 6.4 receptions a game. Now looking at his pass attack, he's still getting involved in the pass attack. Like playing Miami last week, he had 5 receptions, 5 for 6. He had 6 targets, so he has 5 for 6, 34 receiving yards. So he's still getting dump passes. And there are 27.2 fantasy points allowed to the position. Jets actually played better, went away. They actually had 22.4 fantasy points allowed to the running backs, went away. But Balaj is still a great play at 5,600. Let's see. I don't know. I think let's say it's a super revenge game for him. It says my man got drafted, I think, down to Miami for 2 years with Gase. Brought him over to the Jets this year. Played 3 games and had enough. Went all the way back to West to play practice squad before playing another game with Gase. So I think that they said a real revenge game is Adam Gase. I think it's Gase. So as they say, he's in revenge mode. That could be a some play that you can consider here for Balaj, knowing that he has a super revenge. But I'm not going to be so sold on that, honestly. I'm not really sold on that. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be too far. I'm not going to be too much into Balaj. Like I already mentioned a few other plays to where I'm not really on Balaj like that. But he is in play, $5,600 and 15 and 16 in the last 2 games. He had 18 and 15 in carries in the last 2 games. He's getting the load. But like I said, I like more Rex Burkhead. I like more McKissick at 52. I'm not really sold on Balaj at 56. Of course, he's in play. I'm not going to say he's not, but he is in play. But looking at the Jets, they are, middle packing in running game. They're 25th allowed in first downs. They're 24th against rush attempts, 24th against rush touchdowns, 23rd against TDs. What else? I mean, they just a middle pack defense. So I'm not really sold on that whole narrative. So I'm not going to really play Balaj because of the whole narrative. If you want to go play with him, go ahead. But not really sold on him like that. Who else are we looking at this week? Of course, Duke Johnson screwed me over with the Cleveland game. But then again, I kind of knew I should have not played Duke Johnson because, like I said, Cleveland he plays way better. They play way better at home. And of course, he only had 5 fantasy points. But he had 14 carries. But let's see, Alvin Kamara against ATL. ATL has actually been playing way better against the running game. But the thing about Alvin Kamara, he's a whole nother game. He's a whole nother level. It's one of those situations. Would you rather play Kamara over Cook? I'm not sold on that. I'd rather play Cook over Kamara. 9,200, but this guy's all over the place. Kamara, 8.9 targets, 7.4 receptions, 11 carries a game, 72 receiving yards a game, 29.8 fantasy points allowed at home this year. Like, Kamara's a whole different beast. And then, of course, you got Winston. Winston could be definitely having Thomas and Kamara in his radar. But the thing is, are you going to play it? 9,200 for Alvin Kamara. I'm not sold on that price. You know what I mean? Like, he was 8,200 in the last, since week 3? No, since week 2, he was 8,200. And now you bump on another $1,000 for night. No, I'm okay. I'm okay not playing Kamara. If he goes off, he goes off. But I'm not sold on him, man. I'd rather go Dalvin Cook. Kamara didn't practice Thursday, so that's another situation. I didn't realize he was hurt. So let's look at Alvin Kamara, see what happened. He didn't practice Thursday. Kamara was absent from the start of practice both Wednesday and Thursday. After being limited in the first session, he didn't log any reps at all in the most recent one. Fortunately, Kamara, he has one more practice to prove his health ahead of Sunday's contest against the Falcons. If the Saints ultimately decide to rest Kamara, Latavius Murray is next up for workload in the backfield. So that's what we got going on here. So Kamara decided not to practice. He want to pull an Allen Iverson move. He want to pull an Allen Iverson move saying practice. He don't want to practice. So we got a guy that don't want to practice. All right, so I don't know about this, y'all. Like, that's iffy to me. Like, this guy don't want to practice. What's wrong with this dude? Kamara is that type of guy. Like, come on now. He's that type of guy now. All right, so not really sold on Kamara, knowing the fact that now he want to play like he don't want to practice. He's that type of guy now. I'd rather go Dalvin Cook over Alvin Kamara since you want to be an asshole. All right, let's look at some more plays. I don't really see any more plays. Who's y'all favorite plays? Y'all let me know in the running backs. About to go to the receivers real fast. Let me know. Like the video. Please share the live stream. We're going through all the plays. As you can see, we got the top plays down below for all my plays for cash and GPP, y'all. I'm not sure who else is doing this like this, but this is the way I do it for football because you want to see the whole spectrum of what you're dealing with to make great lines. But as you can see, you got the favorite stacks, you got the injury watch list, you got the per position top plays, you got the cash, you got the GPP, all that good stuff right there. And then you got draft dashboard tools right here. If you want access to $1 up to 30 days using my link in the description, only $1 to 30 days, you get all these tools. And on top of that, you get my player pool as well when you use it. All right, so definitely check that out. You don't have to have it. You could cancel it before 30 days. It's all good. It's only $1, man. So definitely check it out. But yeah, let's get into the receivers. All right, let's get right into it. My man, Pretty Boy Suave, or is it Suave? Pretty Boy Suave. That's what Suave. James Conner this week or nah? I say nah. I'm not really on Conner this week because one thing about who they playing. One thing about Jacksonville. This is the reason why I say nah. Is because one thing about Jacksonville, you have to attack them with a pass catching running back. All right. Now we all know Conner is not that type of player. He's not really a pass catching running back. That's the way you have to attack Jacksonville. So, and on top of that, they got so many weapons in the receiver core to where he's going to be non-existent in the passing game. There's so many guys. You got Eric Ebron now. You know what I mean? Like, you got everybody. It's everybody playing. Like, it's everybody in the passing game. Ben Roethlisberger got everybody he could choose from this week. So, first time you was right. Oh, Suave. You said Suave? First time you was right. But shout out to Pretty Boy Suave. But yeah, man, I'm not really sold on Conner. Is he in your like long time fantasy, or are you talking about more so Draftkings or FanDuel? Peekaboo. I see you. I'm telling you, man, I'm learning. I know all these kids' songs, man. It's sad, man. Oh, it's at FanDuel. How much is Connor on FanDuel? Also, if you're playing FanDuel, I say upside on FanDuel is ×2. If you're looking at price tag, I say ×2 for cash, ×3 for upside. All right, so if Connor is 7K, if Connor is 7K on FanDuel, he need to give you at least for upside, he need to give you at least 21, right? But for cash, he needs to just give you 14 fantasy points. Right? So who would I pivot from Connor? So Connor's 7K on FanDuel. Let's change. Let's go real quick. I would say you could go to. We talked about him already. You got Antonio Gibson. You got Nakeem Hines at 61. You got Rex Burkhead at 5,900. Damian Harris. If Damian Harris is playing, play Harris and Burkhead. Oh, both of these guys. Damian Harris is in play. What else we talked about? 5,600. Salvin Ahmed. 5,600. Too cheap. So let's say instead of Connor, I would go Ahmed. I would go J.D. McKissick. I would go Damian Harris. I would rather go Rex Burkhead. You got so many other options than Connor. But the best person I say to play, I would rather go J.D. McKissick at 5,600. GPP, I would go Rex Burkhead at 5,900. I think Rex Burkhead is real underrated. Can't stand that platform. He said Mustang. I don't know how people cash in their tournaments. I'm going with Chubb. Yes, indeed. I'm going with Chubb. You can go Chubb. Chubb just showed us last week that he don't care about us as DFS. The way he ran the ball out of bounds and didn't want to score that touchdown. Whoever played Chubb was real pissed. That was a real. I mean, you rather play Nick Chubb at 8,100? I'd rather play Zeke Elliott at 8K. I'd rather go. If you're gonna go 8,000 for Chubb, I'll say go down to Elliott at 8K. You can go Mike Davis for 7,400 if you want to do that. Nick Chubb at 8K, he better give you ×3, so he better give you 24 plus. I mean, he can. I mean, Nick Chubb can. Don't get me wrong, Nick Chubb can. But against Philly defense, the running game. Let's look at the Eagles running game. So they allow 25th in rushing yards, 28th in rushing attempts, 28th in rushing touchdowns. Okay, so Nick Chubb is in a good spot here. You want to go Nick Chubb? I mean, 28th in run D, yeah. My thing, I think a lot of people might pivot from Chubb because of that. Chubb could be a GPP play. A lot of people might not look at Chubb. Let me look at Chubb real quick. So Philly allows only 79 rushing yards a game. So they allow 79 rushing yards a game, 1 touchdown a game, 20.9 fantasy points allowed to the running backs this season, 23.5 fantasy points allowed win away. But Nick Chubb actually plays better win at home. He has 26 fantasy points at home. He had 29 against the Bengals, 27 against Washington, 22 against the Texans at home. So those 3 games alone, he had great upside at home. I don't know, man. Chubb is really that guy that he could hurt you, man. We call him Booby Miles. Booby Miles. Booby Miles. Oh man, my boy James Earl. Boy Booby Miles. Yeah, I can say it. Yeah, he look like him. He do look like babe. He do look like him too. Booby Miles. I mean, I think you could go Nick Chubb, bro, but I'm not sold. I'm not sold. Especially, he could do me. I ain't gonna lie. He could be wrong. He could ball out and everyone faded him. You know what I'm saying? He could do that, but I'm not sold on him. And Philly doesn't really give up a lot this year. Like he the hell's this? Pay sick leave for federal contracts. Let's see. He never played Philly. This is his first time playing Philly too. I don't know. I just think that his price tag is what's hurting me. You know what I mean? Like his price tag is up there, man. But then again, he had 22. He had 22 against Houston. Was it last week? 22 against Houston. He only needs 21. He has 7K on Draftkings. I'm not really sold on him though.
No.
All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Sorry about that. I got distracted real quick, but let me keep it going. Doing pretty good with this timing this week. I'm at what? Where am I at right now? I'm at 1 hour and 37 minutes. I'm doing all right this week. All right, let's go to receivers. Go away. Another day to play. Rain, go away. Boy, he was going off for he hurt his knee. That's the only problem. I mean, he's a valuable play. I mean, I'm not gonna play him. I'm not gonna say he's not a bad play, but I'm just not sold on Chubb. That's all I'm gonna say on that. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Let's go. Hey, buddy, this is Swanson, my man Swanson. Yeah, I talked about Ballage. I did talk about Ballage. What's up? My man Swanson. Shout out my man Swanson. First time catching the live feed. This is great. One player. Sleeper. He said going Willie Snead. I ain't played the receivers yet. I like Ballage. Don't get me wrong. I like Ballage, but I know we all know about the situation with him and Adam Gase. Was it Gase? Adam Gase and whatnot, but I don't know. Man, Mustang. Cloud my man Swanson. That's my guy, Line Star Squad. I like Ballage. Don't get me wrong. I like Ballage. Yeah, he has the whole narrative with the whole Jet Squad, but I guess you could go that route. I mean, he's getting the carries. $5,600 for Balaj. 5,600 on Balaj. I mean, you can go this route with Balaj. If I go Balaj, I'll say he's a cash play. Would you agree? Would you agree if Balaj is a cash, or do you see upside with Balaj against the Jets? Oh, buddy.
Hello.
Hmm?
I'm looking careful. Oh.
What's up, baby?
What? The purple?
Huh?
What? What? Ah!
Heart. Good job. Good job, baby. It's a heart.
Oh, what's that? Mm-hmm. What's that?
Yeah, it's a star.
Oh.
Little why? What you are.
Oh.
Anyways, swap him for cash with Harris due to health. Also gets targets where Harris is pure run. But did we talk about Burkhead? I love Burkhead, bro. I'm Wonder Money Man, in case you didn't know. Coach Green led him at Sunday. Also mentioned more value. I swap him for cash with Harris due to. He's still cash though. I think Balaj is still a cash play. Even though I like him against the Jets, I still think he's a cash play. He also gets targets where Harris is pure run. Yeah, but thinking about Harris, even though he's a pure run, he's going against an easier team against a pure run. If we look at Houston's stats, Houston is a team that you beat with a pure run. You don't need. That's the thing about Houston. You don't need to have a pass catching running back to get lit up. You could lit up. You could. I mean, Harris could light them up with pure run. I mean, the fact that we saw Harris light up the Ravens defense in pure run is impressive. And he was hurt, and he was questionable that week. So I still like him here. He didn't really. I didn't think he got a touchdown. Did he get a touchdown? Look at Harris real quick. So you got Henry that hit him up with a 43. You got Jamal Williams hit him up with a 21. Nick Chubb 21. James Robinson 15. Like Damian Harris, that's the thing about Houston. You could hit him up with pure run. That's the reason. That's the reason why I like going against Houston, because you don't need a pass and catch running back. Harris just lacks the red zone opportunity. Guys get touchdowns against Vulture. You're right. Like that's why I like Rex Burkhead. I think that's why I have Rex Burkhead. I think Burkhead for the GPP is a good spot, especially for his price tag. I think Rex Burkhead is the red zone opportunist. So I'd rather go Rex Burkhead on the red zone opportunity. And knowing that Rex Burkhead is in the 4K range, I think that's the reason why I say that, Harris is more so cash. I like Balaj. Don't get me wrong. I like Balaj. He's coming in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's also B.
Look.
B.
Look at the camera.
B.
Look. 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 Olivia. Look.
B.
Look at you. You see, yuck. Whoa. Wow. Look. Whoa. Look. Look at the camera. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Wow. Wow. Roll over. Let me finish, baby girl. Let me finish. We gotta finish. We gotta finish, baby girl. I gotta finish. Pretty. Cam gonna take all the runs. No, I don't think Cam gonna take all the runs, bro. I don't think he'll take all the runs. What are you doing? Stop that. You stop it. You be a big girl. Okay? Be a big girl. Alright, let's continue, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's continue this. Alright, let's get into some more plays, y'all. Thanks, homie. Appreciate you, Swanson. She be 2 next month. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate y'all. She be 2 on the 29th, man. Time is going by fast, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's get into these receivers. Sorry about that, y'all. I ain't trying to make this longer than what it's supposed to be. All right, let's get into some more plays, y'all. Let's look at the Cowboys, man. Like we was talking about with Andy Dalton, CeeDee Lamb going against. Thanks, man. Hey, James. Hey, is your real name James? But anyway, Swanson, bro. I appreciate you, man. Definitely will talk to you before Sunday, man, and see what you're looking like for your lines. Good luck to you, man. Oh, you're playing tonight's showdown. Hey, good luck on that as well. Take it easy, man. Appreciate you being on the chat. It's my man Swanson on Line Star, y'all. Yeah, definitely check out Swanson. He's also on Twitter at Swanson. So definitely check him out, man. He's a great guy all around great guy. But anyway, I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb, y'all. 5K for CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb is definitely a great spot here. If you're looking at playing a contrarian with Cowboys, definitely somebody to consider here. If you want to go CeeDee Lamb, he got 7.3 targets a game, average in a game, 4.9 receptions average a game, 14.4 fantasy points per game, but he's only averaging 7.8 win away, which is not good. Looking at what he did with away games, he did play Seattle away, and he only had 12 fantasy points a game. He only had 12 fantasy points when he played Seattle, so that sucks. But the only games he really had upside was playing at home. You know, he played ATL. He had 21. He played Cleveland. He had 25. He played the Giants, 23. Played Arizona, 13. Played Pittsburgh, 16. All those games were at home. He really didn't have a game when he played away that he balled out. But the thing about Minnesota, they actually give up a lot of fantasy points when playing at home. Now, Minnesota is allowing 178.2 receiving yards a game, 1.8 touchdowns a game, 56.7 fantasy points allowed to receivers at home. And that's the thing about it. But 5K for a guy like that, for CeeDee Lamb, is somebody who's definitely considering your lines here. Now, if I was to look at him in the sense of matchups, let me go to value. Receivers. He's going to have a tough matchup. You know, that's the thing about it, too. He's going to have a tough matchup. Looking at the guys that went against this, was it Gladney? You had Gage. He only had 10. You had Scantlin, 3. You had Marvin Hall. He only had 5. And then you had Mooney from the Bears. He only had 2 fantasy points. So CeeDee Lamb is like, he's a good spot, but the matchup is not there for him, you know. Definitely like him at 5K. Don't get me wrong. I do like CeeDee Lamb at 5K, but I don't really see upside in that play. Is this the game Michael Thomas goes off or Sanders? If you had to pick one, I'm definitely going Michael Thomas all the way, bro. Love Michael Thomas here. Michael Thomas definitely in play here, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Love Michael Thomas here. He should have got the looks last go around. Now another guy you can also go look at, I say maybe Michael Gallup. I think Michael Gallup is definitely in play here at $3,700 for a guy that has great upside. Now his matchup, what you're going against with Chris Boyd, and what you're looking at, Anthony Miller had 4. You had Amendola. You see the book? You read the book. Oh, see the book. What I say?
Puppy.
Is it puppy?
Good.
Cat. Good job. Meow. What did the puppy say? What puppy say?
It's fly.
We got tiger. What's this? Monkey?
What?
Penguin. Wow.
Fly.
Butterfly. Look at this. Elephant. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta do this real quick. Butterfly. That's butterfly. Fish. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Starfish. Good job. Rabbit. Feel the hair on the rabbit? And a snail. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, y'all. So if I was to go, I'll say Michael Gallup at $3,700. Michael Gallup. Well, I'm gonna go check out this game. Nice chat with you. Thanks, Mark. Good luck on tonight's game, bro. Now looking at some upside, y'all. We got Michael Gallup at $3,700. Too cheap, man. Michael Gallup had 7 targets last game, 12 in the last 2 games. Even though Andy Dalton's in the mix, Michael Gallup at $3,700 to me is still too cheap. He's averaging 6.1 targets, 52 receiving yards, 12.5 fantasy points win away, which is good. So the game that CeeDee Lamb didn't do good against Seattle, Michael Gallup had 29 fantasy points against Seattle. He had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 1 touchdown, 138 yards. So this is one of those games where at $3,700, a guy like Michael Gallup has better upside here. So I definitely would like Michael Gallup as upside. $3,700 for Michael Gallup is to me highway robbery, man. So definitely want to look at some. Definitely want to, if you need some guys at 3K range, Michael Gallup at 3K is too cheap, man. Like Michael Gallup here as GPP. Let's see, you got Cedric Wilson. Not really on Cedric Wilson. Last time Cedric Wilson balled out was against Seattle. He had 31 fantasy points against Seattle. That was when he had 2 touchdowns. I think I remember that. He had 2 touchdowns that game. Cedric Wilson was random as hell. He had 31 fantasy points, y'all. That was insane. Now, if I was to look at him on Draft Dashboard, I'm trying to see what's his rating looking like. He's only 3K. He's bare minimum pricing. Let's see. Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson 3K. It's iffy. But going against Minnesota, knowing that there's really nobody on Minnesota, he could be sneaky, but I'm not gonna think I don't think I'm gonna have to go that far off. I don't think I have to go that far off into the line. They play so much better with Gilbert. Why put Andy Dalton back in the lineup? They should have gave Gilbert another chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Gilbert was real impressive. You know, he was really impressive. I don't know why they didn't put Gilbert back in, but you know, I guess they see it in the sense that Andy Dalton is like he is like a starting quarterback beforehand. So I guess he's like the closest to a starting quarterback than a backup. You know what I mean? I guess that's how they seeing it. I don't know. Let's see. We got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's in play at 5,400. He got 9.2 targets, 6.6 receptions. Now, looking at what he did with Dalton, let me see where Dalton started playing. Where did Dalton start playing? Let me double check real quick. So, Dalton. So, with Dalton, he played Arizona. He played in Arizona. That was like the only game he played. I think he played that game and also Washington. But he got hurt. Did he get hurt in Washington? So the only game he really played was Arizona. So, okay, so Andy Dalton played Arizona. Yes, baby. Yes. Yes. Yes, I'm right here. What's up? So the game that he played, the game that Dalton played Arizona, he had 12 fantasy points. I mean, he had 21 fantasy points. So Amari Cooper had 21 fantasy points when Dalton was playing. He had 10 targets, a touchdown, 7 receptions. So that's the only game I saw that he got upside. My thing about Cooper, hey, calm down. So my thing about Cooper is that he doesn't play good away. He averaging only 11.8 fantasy points in 5 away games. He doesn't play good away, but he's still playing in the dome at Minnesota. This could be a play where you could look at him against Minnesota. Last time he played Minnesota last year, he had 35 fantasy points against Minnesota, 14 targets. 14 targets against Minnesota last year. But that wasn't at home. That was away. That was playing away. I mean, I was playing at home, not away. Sorry. So I'll say Cooper is a viable play here. 5,400 is still too cheap. I mean, he's one of those receivers where he should be 6K. But I think they priced him at 5K, knowing that of the receiver. I mean, knowing that of the quarterback he's with. So Amari Cooper, 5,400 is still in play here, especially at 5,400. Like, especially going against Minnesota, that's allowing 56 fantasy points to the position. I'll say you can go this route here with him. So you got Gallup, GPP. I'll say Gallup is GPP, but I got Cooper at cash. I'll say cash for Cooper, GPP for Gallup. All right, and then let's go to another play here. Let's keep it going. We got Jacoby Myers, y'all. Going. Love this play for Myers here. He's 4,900. Too cheap for Jacoby Myers against Houston. Now, Jacoby Myers averaging 10.5 fantasy points a game, 5.4 targets. He had 7, 14, 10 targets in the last 3 games. 16, 32, 14 in the last 3 games. He's going against Houston. And the thing about Houston, they're one of the teams you definitely want to target against the pass attack. They allow 164 receiving yards a game, 1.4 touchdowns a game, 44.6 fantasy points allowed at home. Jacoby Myers is definitely been on point, y'all. He had 14 against Buffalo, playing away at Buffalo. He had 32 fantasy points playing against the Jets. He had 14 targets against the Jets, 10 targets against Buffalo, 7 targets against the Ravens. $4,900 for Myers is, to me, a great spot to look at, y'all. So I'm going to go back to the well here with Jacoby Myers if you need some savings. That's what I'm saying. This is one of those plays where one of the slates to where you can have a guy like cheap receivers that can give you great upside in their price tag. A guy that's in the 4K range like Jacoby Myers that can give you like a Cooper play. He could give you a Brandon Cooks. He could give you a Justin Jefferson line, a Chase Claypool line. He could give you an Adam Thielen line. Like, love this play for Myers here. He's been balling. Definitely want to go back to the well with Jacoby Myers at this price tag. He's too cheap here. So definitely GPP will be Myers at $4,900. It's too cheap for him. Let me go ahead and do a little break, y'all. Give me about just like 2 minutes, and we'll be right back into these plays, y'all. So I'll talk to y'all in a second. All right. Y'all, let's get right back into it. All right. Sorry for these stops, y'all, but I have to take a break at times, man. All right, let's keep it going with these plays. All right, I was looking to maybe a Demir Bird. He's only, what, 3,500 for him. Now, if I was to look at him, look at his, he's iffy. but he's averaging around 11 fantasy points in 6 away games. If you want to go with that narrative. So looking at his away games this year, we got Damian Bird, too cheap. Damian Bird, where is he at? Damian Bird is 3,500. He didn't play last week. Wow, look at that puppy. Wow. But he didn't play last week, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's back in the mix. And looking at his away games, so he played Seattle. He had 13 fantasy points against Seattle. So looking at his scoring, so he had 13 against Seattle, and that was a away game. Okay. He had 13 against the Chiefs. He had 9 targets with Seattle, 10 targets with the Chiefs. Then he played Buffalo. He only had 4 targets. He had 7 fantasy points. Then he played the Jets. He had 9 targets against the Jets, 12 fantasy points. 3,500 for a guy with Bird. Bird is definitely in play. I mean, this is a good game to look at some cheap guys. So if you want to look at like a Damian Bird, he could be in play. I mean, he's been real good playing away. Even last year, I think the last game he played the Rams, he had 19 fantasy points with a touchdown against the Rams. Like, if you get a touchdown, y'all, if Damian Bird gets a touchdown, he is value. All right, so I like this play, knowing that he's been real consistent away. It's a good game with Myers. You can plug in Myers. You can plug in Bird. These guys are in valuable spots here that if they go off, you know what I'm saying, you have good value plays. So Myers and Bird, to me, are great valuable plays for your lines for this week. Let's keep it going. But I like both of these guys here. They're too cheap. 3,500 for Bird, and you got a 4,900. What is it? 4,900 for Myers? What? Good spots for both of these guys here. Let's keep it going. Let's look at Houston. Now, I like one play with Houston. I like Brendan Cooks. $5,200 for Brendan Cooks. If you want to look at the whole contrarian with, what's his name? What's his name? We were just talking about his ass, man. Deshaun Watson. All right, now, like Brendan Cooks, y'all, like going against New England, they're actually allowing 43.5 fantasy points win away. So the Patriots look like they actually do better at home, but win away they give up a lot more fantasy points away. So Brendan Cooks averaging 7.4 targets, 4.8 receptions, 61 receiving yards a game, 15.2 fantasy points when at home. So he actually played better at home. The games he played better at home, he played Baltimore. He had 15 against Baltimore. He had 33 against Jacksonville. He had 13 against Green Bay. So those are the games where he played home. So if you want to look at Brendan Cooks at 5,200, this could be a viable play here. Also, looking at Cooks playing New England, the last time he played New England was 2018, in which he had 23 fantasy points, 13 targets. He didn't have a touchdown. He only had 13 targets, 8 receptions, 120 yards, and he had 23 fantasy points. So think about if he had a touchdown, easily would have broke the slate at this price tag. So Brendan Cooks, obviously a great play to consider for your line. So if you want to look at him, he's only 5,200. So if you're looking, I was talking to my man Swanson about this play. So we was talking about either Cooks or Cooper, right? And I think that, to me, Cooper is a great cash play, but I definitely like Cooks as more upside. So if you want to look at a play with more upside, I think Brendan Cooks at 5,200 is a play. He, like I said, he had 8 targets last game, 9 targets in the last 3 games, averaging 7.6 targets a game. Now, Amari Cooper is getting more volume, 9.2 targets a game, but I just definitely like Brendan Cooks here at 52 for $200 less. But definitely in play for Brendan Cooks, as Patriots actually play worse win away. They actually play better at home. So We want to look at that route. Love this play for Brandon Cooks here. Let's see some other plays we want to consider. We do have Will Fuller. We got Will Fuller here. Not really sold on Will Fuller. I left him like Brandon Cooks. I think Brandon Cooks is that guy here. So I'm going to go Brandon Cooks as a cash play. But he can actually ball out, y'all. I think Cooks is still could ball out. Even with his price tag, he could ball out. It's more of a gut play, in my opinion, for Cooks. He's definitely a gut play. But I definitely like him here. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, y'all. I know the game's playing right now, but I'm going to keep it going. Now, looking at the Chargers, right? We got Keenan Allen, my guy. 7,400 for Keenan Allen. Definitely in play. Definitely a bounce back play from when he played Miami. He had 13 fantasy points against Miami, but this guy is a beast when he plays at home. He's always been a great play at home. He is 7,400, but I do predict this guy's going to give you 20 plus fantasy points this week. I have him as my cover photo for a reason. Love this play. Now, looking at the Jets, they allow 194 receiving yards to the position, 43.1 fantasy points allowed to the position when away. So they actually play worse away. Keenan Allen is averaging 10.3 targets a game, 7.2 receptions, 5 touchdowns so far for the season. He had 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He averaging 26.2 fantasy points when at home. Last time he played at home, he played the Chiefs. He had 17 against the Chiefs. He played Carolina. He had 34 fantasy points against Carolina at home. Then he played Jacksonville at home. He had 26 fantasy points against Jacksonville. He had 28 against the Raiders at home. So like I said, he has great upside playing at home. Like Keenan Allen here, great price tag, $7,400. Yes, he's a cash play, but love the spot for Keenan Allen here at this price. But like I said, there's so much value. Even at the running backs, there's so much value to where you can have a Keenan Allen, and then like a couple guys were talking about Michael Thomas. You can still have a Michael Thomas and a Keenan Allen in your lines with so much value on the slate. So keep that in mind when you do your plays. You have so much value that you can still load up those expensive plays if you want to. But like I said, Keenan Allen, love this play for him at this price tag at $7,400. All right, let's look at some other plays. Just keep it moving. Jacksonville. All right, we was talking about Jacksonville earlier, in which we was talking about Keelan Cole. 3,800 for a guy like Keelan Cole that has great upside here. 3,800. He bought out last week. I told y'all about Cole last week. 7 targets, 22 fantasy points last week. I told y'all he was going to ball, and he did his job. Going against Green Bay, he did his job. 7 targets last game, 5 receptions, a touchdown against Green Bay. Love this play once again going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh still allows a lot of fantasy points when away. They averaged 180 receiving yards allowed to the position, 1.4 touchdowns a game, 43 fantasy points allowed when away. So Pittsburgh actually give up a lot when away. Keelan Cole is averaging 5.4 targets a game, 3.8 receptions. He has 4 touchdowns so far for the season. No, he's a good spot here, y'all. He's averaging 12.2 fantasy points a game, and he's only 3,800. Like, you can get some cheap plays like this guy here, Keelan Cole, 3,800. Like, we already talked about a few guys that are already cheap. We talked about Myers. We talked about Bird. We talked about Cole. These guys are cheap to where you can load up like a Dalvin Cook. You can load up a Dalvin Cook. You can load up a Keenan Allen. You can still load up. We got Alex Smith that's still a good quarterback. We got Herbert as a quarterback. We got, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got so much value to where you can still get great plays. And then the thing is that's going to differentiate your lines is having some value players that's going to give you upside. And Keelan Cole is one of those guys here, 3,800. I guess, like I said, 22 fantasy points from a 3K run, a 3K receiver. When you can't, what's his name? Devontae Adams didn't give that to you last week. So you paid, if someone played Adams last week, that was 9K, that didn't even give you 20 fantasy points, but you got a guy like Keelan Cole at 3K, you could have saved a lot of money, and on top of that, you would have cashed. So Keelan Cole is a great spot to consider for your lines at this price tag at 3K. Definitely a GPP play because, of course, he can still bust in this spot. But like I said, high risk, big rewards when you got good value players. So Keelan Cole, good spot to consider for your lines here. And he has a great matchup again. Great matchup. You got Higgins. T. Higgins went off in this matchup last week against Sutton. He had 26.5 fantasy points. CeeDee Lamb had 16. Willie Snead had 18. So we had a lot of receivers in this spot at receiver 3 spot that did justice. And Keelan Cole is another good play here at this price tag, y'all. So love the spot. Just a moment, y'all. Sorry I had to hop on. Saw your Twitter posting that. My first time getting to see your show. I've subscribed to your channel now and look forward to checking it more. Anyways, check with you later. I made a few tweets and think pretty a lot. Cooks made it back on my lines too, partly because I had enough. Just enough. Your upgrade and upgrade from Myers to him. Have a good night, bro. I appreciate Swanson. Shout out to Swanson that reached out on Twitter, man. It's my guy. Yeah, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling, y'all. Oh, I got DFS Army just followed me. Shout outs to DFS. DFS Army. But anyways, let's keep it moving. Wilson just scored a touchdown to McCaff. Oh, that's great.
It's fun to hear the animals at the zoo.
That's great. All right, let's keep it rolling. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the Redskins side. Like I said, we still got more value. We talked about Washington. We got Cam Sims. Cam Sims is a great value play. Like, I'm giving you value in this video, y'all. Like, Cam Sims? What? Y'all, I don't know if y'all was looking at Cam Sims. Cam Sims, 3,300 for Cam Sims, he had 5 targets last game, 9 fantasy points, 17 fantasy points in week 9, 4 targets, and another great play. Cam Sims, y'all, $3,300 is all. Like I said, Washington is still a great stack. Cam Sims in a great spot going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's allowing 1.4 touchdowns to the position, 181 receiving yards to the position, 42.2 fantasy points allowed in this position. Great spot for Cam Sims. In the last 2 games with Alex Smith, Alex Smith has been looking at this guy. So when he played the Giants, he had 4 targets, 3 receptions, but he had 110 yards that game. Then he played Detroit. He had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 54 yards that game. Going against Cincinnati, it's going to be a tougher game, but knowing that if you get a touchdown, y'all, he's paying up his price tag at $3,300. So good spot if you want to look at Cam Sims here. So going back to the well with Cam Sims, nice look. Like I said, favorite stacks is Washington. I like to play with them in this spot for today. Cam Sims added to my GPP list. Let's look at position plays. Right, cash GPP. Cam Sims. You put C Sims. So Cam Sims, good spot to consider for your lines, y'all. Love this play for him. Another spot, of course, is Terry McLaurin. Easy play to look at, y'all. 6,900, but still worth it. This guy averaging 18.3 fantasy points a game, 9.6 targets a game, 6.3 receptions allowed a game. 3 touchdowns. That's the thing. He only got 3 touchdowns for the season, but he had 2 touchdowns in the past 3 games. So he's getting fired up. He's getting looks from Smith. Smith gave him 9 targets last game. He had 8 targets from Smith against Giants. So I'm not really worried about a change of quarterbacks because Alex Smith has been giving him targets. Now, if you score a touchdown, he's giving you 20-plus fantasy points. So love this play for Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry is a great play, y'all, at this spot at 6,900. So if you can't pay up to like Michael Thomas, you can't pay up to like a Keenan Allen at 7K range, 6K range, 6,900 for McLaurin. Easy, something to look at. So I like this play for him at cash. McLaurin. Huh? You see a star? Wow. You see the nose? Whoa. Wow. All right, let's go to some more plays, y'all. Let me see real quick. Almost time to go sleep. About time to go sleep. Almost time to go sleep. All right, let's keep it moving, y'all. We're gonna go with the Saints side of things. Got Emmanuel Sanders could be a play. Emmanuel Sanders could be a valuable play here. Knowing that Emmanuel Sanders he's only 4,900. $2,900 for Emmanuel Sanders. He had 14 against Tampa with a touchdown. He only had 1 for 1 against. I mean, I ain't gonna count that game, man. Winston was on some other stuff. But anyways, if you want to go Emmanuel Sanders 4,900, it's still a good spot here. But of course, I'm looking at Michael Thomas at $7,300 for Michael Thomas. Last time he played ATL at home, he had 31 fantasy points at home last year, 14 targets, 13 receptions, 152 yards. And also, he had no touchdowns that game. So the fact that he had no touchdowns, 14 targets, 13 receptions. If he had a touchdown, easily 40 plus. Michael Thomas is going to be a high risk play, but boy, if Winston trusts this guy, give him more than 14 targets, and he's catching everything against ATL. If you already know ATL is a team you target, ATL is allowing 215 receiving yards to the position. Michael Thomas alone could give you 200 yards. Like, that's funny. But love this play for Michael Thomas playing ATL at home here. He's averaging 6 targets for the season, but nonetheless, he needs to ball out. I think it's a bounce back game. It's destined to happen. He had 6 targets against the Bucs, and he only had 7 targets against the 49ers. But if Winston wants to look good, just give Michael Thomas the ball. Please, just throw it up there. Close your eyes. Throw the ball to Michael Thomas. He'll catch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves. He's one of those guys that last year he was averaging almost 12, 13 targets a game last year, y'all. Like, it was crazy. Michael Thomas easily is a great play. I only really trust him. I like Emmanuel Sanders at 4,900 if Breeze was the quarterback, but knowing that with the 1 week turnaround for Winston, he knows just give Michael Thomas the ball. All right, like, it'd be different if it was Breeze, but the fact that, like I said, if Winston has 1 week to learn plays, just throw the damn ball to Thomas. So like Thomas at cash play. Like Thomas here, easy cash play here, but he has a tremendous upside. This guy could give you 30 plus, even 40 fantasy points. And like I said, he had 31 fantasy points with 14 targets, no touchdowns that game. If he had a touchdown and 14 targets, 13 receptions, he easily would have 40 fantasy points that game. So keep that in consideration with Thomas, knowing that with a small turnaround with Winston. Let's keep it going. Got Adam Thielen. You're going to look at Adam Thielen playing at home, going against Dallas. Dallas allows 175 receiving yards to the position, 1.8 touchdowns a game, 45.2 fantasy points allowed to the position, 41.2 fantasy points when they play away. So Dallas is one of those games to look at, but Adam Thielen could be overlooked here. Adam Thielen is a good spot. Last time he played Dallas was in 2016. He ain't played him since 2016, but he did have 16 fantasy points that game. But the fact that he had 20 fantasy points against the Bears is really something else. Like, he had 2 touchdowns against the Bears, and we all know that the Bears is real tough on defense. The fact that he had 2 touchdowns against the Bears is real impressive. So going back to the well here, with him, I mean, last game he had a high game was against the Packers. He had 34 fantasy points against the Packers at home. He had 2 touchdowns, 8 targets, 110 yards in that game. So maybe he bounced back. Who knows? I mean, not bounce back, but maybe get a better upside game. And he's expensive. He did go jump up $600 here, but still see potential in this game for him. All right, so let's go ahead. $6,300 for Thielen. Oh, snowflake. I'm over here singing the Snowflake song. Ain't that song? All right, so Thielen, cash. And looking at Dallas, they also allowed 26 against the receiver 1 spot. As we saw, Juju Smith-Schuster, he had 21 fantasy points. You had Travis Fulgham, he had 19. McLaurin had 22. Darius Slayton had 23. So, like I said, this could be a viable play for Thielen here, knowing that other players in the receiver first spot has been balling here. So, love the spot for Thielen. Falling bowling in my head. All right, let's keep it going. We got Justin Jefferson. That's something about this guy. This guy has definitely been playing good at home, man. He's been doing well at home. And then on top of that, he had 25 fantasy points against Bears. And that's real impressive, man. And Justin Jefferson's been one of those top guys for the season. Last time he played at home, he played Tennessee at home. He had 34 fantasy points at home. Then he played Atlanta. He had 43 fantasy points at home. Then he played Detroit. He only had 9, which probably killed everybody's line. I think I played him too. He killed my line. But Justin Jefferson playing at home, and then on top of that playing Cowboys, could be a great play here. Maybe they might switch up and maybe Jefferson ball out, and then Justin Jefferson, 6K. Definitely in play. I think Thielen and Jefferson is a cash play here. But knowing the upside with Jefferson, man, this guy had 34, 43 in the last 2 games playing at home. The only game that he didn't play good at home was the Detroit game, which he should have balled out against Detroit. But love this play for him. So I'll say he's a cash play because obviously you want to pair him up with Thielen. But I think the upside will be Jefferson. What?
Look.
What?
Look.
That's a mouse.
Look.
That's a mouse.
Look.
It's a mouse. So I'll say Thielen and Jefferson.
Y.
Mm-hmm.
C.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Mm-hmm.
8.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
B.
Mm-hmm.
O.
Sorry about that, y'all. Ooh. Yo, no. You watch my nose. All right, let's keep it rolling. Now I'm looking at ATL side. All right. Now looking to the ATL side of things. We gotta keep in tabs with Ridley. I'm not sure if Ridley's gonna play or not. If Ridley doesn't play, he was limited in practice Thursday, but if he doesn't play here, that guy what's his name? Zacchaeus or something? He sounds like a god name. He got like a god name. J-A-C-C, Zacchaeus. But one thing about this guy, look, he's only $3,500. If Ridley plays, the two games that Ridley sat was Ridley sat against the Packers. Ridley sat. He had 16 fantasy points against the Packers. Then Ridley sat against the Broncos. He had 23 fantasy points against the Broncos. Like this guy has definitely been the play if Ridley sits. So we got to keep in tabs with Ridley because if Ridley sits again, and then he has a foot injury, so he was limited in practice Thursday. And says it should be viewed as a good sign for the White House chances playing on the sprained left foot Sunday in New Orleans. Really sat out Falcons game week 9 over Broncos with injury before benefiting from a well-timed week 10 bye. So leave that alone. Stop touching that stuff. So Zacchaeus or I don't know, Zacchaeus or whatever his name is, if really sits, Zacchaeus is a great upside play, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. Last two times that really sat, this guy had 16 and 23 fantasy points the two times that really sat. All right, so I'll go ahead and put that in my injury list just to double check if really's out, but definitely want to take that in consideration. It really is questionable, so QME is questionable. But if really's not playing receivers, I would say Zacchaeus, and I'll put him at GPP only. I'll say only. Was it Zacchaeus? And I'll put here only Ridley sits, just to keep y'all, just to let y'all know that. So, and now let me know that too, because sometimes I forget all my plays. So Zacchaeus. So I'll say Zacchaeus only if Ridley sits. I like Zacchaeus here, all right? But love that play if he sits here. Let me keep going. Got Julio Jones. Got some good spots here, but Julio Jones. How much is Julio? He's 7,500. Not really sold on him. Going against the Saints defense. The Saints defense is actually pretty solid against the pass attack recently. They are 28th against touchdowns, passing touchdowns a game. They're 28th against passing touchdowns a game, but they're 12th against passing yards. They're 3rd against yards, 4th against plays, 11th against points a game, 5th against interceptions a game, which I'm surprised about that. But Julio, Not really on Julio like that. If you're looking at Julio, not really on Julio like that, but Julio Jones went away. He's averaging 18 fantasy points went away, 8 targets, 6.1 receptions, 91.1 receiving yards a game. Last time he played New Orleans at New Orleans, he had 11 fantasy points. He did have 28 in 2018, 25 in 2017. But this team definitely changed their receiver core. But the Saints allow 40.9 fantasy points win at home to the position. Julio Jones could be oversaw that, but I really don't know. If $7,500, we already looked at other players that I really don't think you have to look at Julio Jones at 75 when you got a Michael Thomas at 73. You know what I'm saying? So don't think you have to go that route. Let's keep it going. We do have Jakeem Grant once again. Jakeem Grant, we played him last week. He had 14 fantasy points last week with a touchdown. Definitely a great play at minimum pricing that we talked about last week. And he's only up 3,500 against Denver, and it's still a great spot for Jakeem Grant. 3,500. I love this play for him. He's still too cheap here. And knowing that Preston Williams is still out, he's still getting the volume. So love this play for him. Yeah, so looking at Denver, they allow 40.7 fantasy points at home for the season, and Grant is averaging 11.5 fantasy points in 2 favorable games. Since this is a favorable game for the Dolphins, even though they're away, there's a 3.5 favorite for the Dolphins in this play. And of course, on top of that, Dolphins defense looks good this week. So definitely like this play for Jakeem Wright. Back at it again with 3.5. It's still too cheap for a guy that's giving you value, and he's giving you numbers for guys that's in the 5K range. And that's the thing about it. Like he's 14 fantasy points with a 3K player. So if he's giving you a 4 or 5K player numbers at a 3K player, you know what I'm saying? Like definitely something to consider here at 3K, knowing that he's one of the top receivers on the team. So back of the well with Grant. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. I think receivers, you could pay down at receivers to load up elsewhere. You don't have to really play all the expensive players. But Grant, still a good spot here at 3.5K. Still love this play for Grant. GPP play. So as you can see, already looking at GPP, like if I was to look at my receivers, you got Gallup, I think he was like 3.7 thousand. 3,700 for Gallup. Then we got Myers at 4,900. We got Bird. I think he was like 3,500. We got Keelan Cole. He's at like what, 30 some. That's Keelan Cole like 3K. You got Sims 3K. Zacchaeus at Zacchaeus, or I don't know. He's only good if it really sits. But still, he's giving you 20 plus, like 16 plus, 20 plus numbers. And then you got Grant that's giving you at least 14 fantasy points. Like these guys at GPPs are giving you value. So keep that in mind when you make these plays. Like you don't have to pay up so much in your plays. Let's keep it moving. What you doing over there? Let's keep it going. Let's see who else I'm looking at. Who else that I ain't talked about yet? Let me know in the comments below. Let's see, we talked about CeeDee Lamb, we talked about Jacoby Myers, we talked about Justin Jefferson. We didn't talk about Pittsburgh yet. I think all Pittsburgh guys are cash plays, honestly. If y'all want to know what I like about Pittsburgh, they're all cash plays. Like Juju for $6,400 going against Jacksonville. They actually play better at home against the position, but they do allow 183 receiving yards to the position, but 34.3 at home. But for the season, they allow 41.1 allowed at 41.1 allowed for the season, but 34.3 at home. But Juju's definitely been stepping it up for the past 2 games. 21 against Dallas. He had a touchdown in both of those games. He had 13 targets against the Bengals. $6,400 for Juju Smith, but still a good spot. 7.8 targets a game, 6 receptions a game, 19.4 fantasy points went away. So I guess he's actually playing better away this season. He had 25 against the Giants away in week 1. He had 25. He played Tennessee at win away. He had 18. He played Baltimore away. He had 14. He played Dallas away. He had 21. So if you want to go with Juju Smith, I think he's a great cash play to consider. I have him as one of my favorite plays. He's one of my plays as well in my player pool. So I like Juju. And he's also in a good matchup as well. Looking at his matchup, going against Trey Herndon. They're 28th against the position. Well, 28th against against receiver 1 position. Where you had Devontae Adams, he had 19. He had Will Fuller had 24. Keenan Allen had 25. Galladay had 17. Fuller again had 15. So it shows that in this position you're getting value here. So Juju at 64 is still a great play. If you want to consider him in your plays, definitely something I have as my cash play. Is Juju Smith. I'll say Juju. You just see the word Juju, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see who else you got. Who else is a good play? You got Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson is still a great play at 5,900. Deontay Johnson, he had 27 against the Bengals last week, 14 against Cowboys, 29 against the Titans, 23 against the Broncos. He's been a good spot. He's averaging 8.1 targets a game, 4.6 receptions a game. But in the last 4 games, he actually got a bump in targets. 9.8 targets in the last 4 games, 5.5 receptions, 17.8 fantasy points a game in the last 4 games, 13.9 averaging win away. So 5,900 for Deontay Johnson, still in play here. If you want to go Johnson, if you still want to go Pittsburgh stack is in play. I think I have that as one of my favorite stacks as well. So you see Washington, you see Pittsburgh as my 2 favorite stacks. If I was to stack a game, I would stack Ben, I would stack Juju, stack Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh defense. You know what I'm saying? Like all those plays are good spots here. So love those plays, and of course you got Chase Claypool. Like this guy, you got another great game again. You know. Let me see Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool's in a tougher matchup this week. He actually doesn't play better win away. You know, like he had the away games, he had 1 fantasy point against the Titans. He had 7 fantasy points against the Giants. He had 14 fantasy points against Baltimore. 15 fantasy points against the Cowboys. Like $6,100 for Claypool. He probably is going to be iffy here. He needs a touchdown, man. Like that's the thing about him. If you don't get a touchdown, he's not paying his price tag. I think this is one of those games to where This is definitely one of those games where you go maybe a Deontay Johnson over Claypool. What are you doing, girl? So I definitely will say more so Juju and Johnson. Stop it. Crazy girl. I'll say Juju and Johnson here. Juju and Johnson to me are the two plays I like here out the Cowboys spots. Just in the sense of matchups and also a price tag. Like I'd rather pay down to Johnson than pay up to a Claypool. Who else? Marvin Hall could be another play here if Marvin Jones is out. Marvin Jones is questionable. And then on top of that, we got Galladay. Galladay he didn't practice, so he was a non-participant in Thursday practice. So he missed the last 2 games, and he also didn't practice. He did a limited practice Wednesday, but didn't practice Thursday. So we gotta double check with this. So Galladay and more likely Marvin Jones is questionable. So Marvin Jones had a limited practice Thursday. He didn't practice Wednesday. He had a knee injury, so we're not sure about that. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one to call on this one because I'm not really sure how they're gonna do it. You got Amendola. I think Amendola was also questionable. Good grief. The whole receiving core is questionable. He had a hip injury. He didn't practice Thursday. So, yeah. So, got... Go to the injury list. You got Detroit. You got Swift. Galladay. Jones. Amendola are all questionable right now. So of course, if they're out, which I doubt, you got Marvin Hall that could be a viable play at his price tag. Marvin Hall is $3,800, and he had 14 fantasy points against the Washington last week. Keep that in mind. So Marvin Hall could be in play if we get one of those guys out. All right, and let's keep it moving. Anybody else that y'all like? Let me know in the comments below or the chat. The chat below. Never know what y'all think. There's not really much people I'm looking at right now, but those are the plays I like here so far. At receivers. I'm going down the list right now. Just double check and make sure everything's good to go before I continue. Everyone's looking at Tyler Boyd at 5,600, but going against Washington at home is going to be a tough game to look at. I really don't see him doing much against them at home. All right, let me see. Arizona. All right, let's keep it moving. I think I'm done with the receivers here. We talked about the receivers I actually like in the positions, the value. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the tight ends, and we're almost done. At the tight ends, which I only got a couple tight ends. I'm not really going to talk about a lot of tight ends. And then we're going to go ahead and make a lineup in which I actually like. what lineup I actually like on both DraftKings and FanDuel. But let's keep it. Let's get through this tight ends. Tight ends gonna be real fast. Tight ends gonna be real quick. So not gonna be too much in tight ends. But if you like the video, like the stream, definitely give a thumbs up. I try to make it as smooth as possible. As you can see, I have my daughter behind me, but we're making it work. She's a great trooper, so I love my daughter. She's doing her thing. She's real independent. But I have little hiccups here and there. But I try to keep it professional, try to keep it smooth for y'all, because I know, to have daddy duty and do streams is going to be tough. But I try to keep it smooth, but definitely like the stream. Definitely share the stream, share the channel. Mellow DFS, definitely share the channel. I try to give y'all the best tools, the best advice as I can. But definitely give me the support, and I appreciate y'all. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's go to a couple plays I like here at tight end. We do have Jared Cook. Now he's only 4,100. He's not really as much of a play on Draft Dashboard. I got him at 60 rating on Draft Dashboard. But the last 2 times he played ATL, he had a 12 and a 13 in the last 2 games. And like I said before, Winston has options. They're not really sure how they're going to utilize Cook in a week span. But the last 3 times they played, he played ATL last year. He had 13, 12. The last 2 games against ATL. Then in 2016, he had 21 fantasy points. But looking at ATL, they give up 22 fantasy points win away this season. 66 yards allowed to tight ends, 6.1 receptions allowed. They're one of the worst teams allowed to tight ends in this position. Like I said, they gave up 22.2 fantasy points allowed at win away. So Jared Cook obviously is a great cash play, but he has a lot of upside at his price tag, and he's cheap. He's only 4,100 on DraftKings. He is 61 on FanDuel, but he's one of those plays to where he could give you, if Winston balls out, he could give you a 15-plus fantasy point game. Love this play more so for cash. Don't really see as much upside, but only because it is Winston. So I like Cook here at cash spot for this week. All right, another play I do like as well. I like Austin Hooper once again. Even though Austin Hooper didn't do much against Houston last week after he came out of his injury, hopefully he could bounce back from the play with Houston last week and do well here. Austin Hooper is only 3,900 here, and he is 51? So he's like 5,100 on FanDuel. Still a cheap play on FanDuel. We're going to look at Austin Hooper as Philly averages 5.9 receptions allowed to the tight end spot, 55.9 yards allowed to the tight ends, 18.3 fantasy points allowed win away. So win at home. So he actually does pretty good. Philly allows 18.3 fantasy points win away. So knowing that stat, Hooper could do well here. He could bounce back, out of his injury slump. He did have an injury. He wasn't playing in week 7, week 8, and then when he came back in week 10, he only had 1 reception. So it was tough to see, but he could be real low owned here. If you want to look at this spot for Austin Hooper at 3,900. He could be a GPP play, knowing the fact that a lot of people are not going to look at him. And if he balls out, the train has left. You know what I'm saying? So Austin Hooper, good spot to consider GPP. Only because of the whole injury issue and whatnot. He did have 87% snaps, so keep that in consideration. He has more snaps than Jared Cook. Cook only had 49% snaps. So Austin Hooper has 87. I'm not sure how many snaps he had last week. Let me double check. He caught 1 of 2 targets for 11 yards Sunday, or Hooper was the only Browns tight end to record a target in his return. But none of the Cleveland pass catchers got much going on this one. Quarterback Mayfield threw just for 132 yards without a touchdown. Former Falcon has recorded 5 catches in each of his previous 3 games played. Hooper should pick things up in Week 11 against the Eagles team, who has struggled to defend tight ends. So knowing that stat, I think that game also, I think that was a windy game. So the fact that it was a windy game, I think that also hindered his Baker Mayfield's it hindered his upside. So Austin Hooper is in a good spot once again. So I like this play, knowing that, like I said, Philly gives up a lot to tight ends, y'all. So I like this play for him. Of course, you got Hunter Henry. If you want to play the whole, Chargers stack, you got Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, you got Ballage, you got Keenan Allen and Herbert. Those 4 guys all right there. It was a great stack. You will look at that stack. Obviously, that's going to be a cash stack for Henry, but he's in a good play this week. Going against the Jets, as the Jets allow 17.8 fantasy points win away to the position. They allow 4.4 receptions, 51.4 yards a game. Hunter Henry is averaging 9.2 fantasy points a game. 6.4 targets a game, 4.1 receptions a game. So Hunter Henry's in a good spot, $4,600. But of course, like I said, $4,600 for a guy where we could get some upside elsewhere. He is a cash play to consider. You're gonna look at cash. But yeah, $4,600. But he's still cheaper on FanDuel. You can get him for $5,500 on FanDuel, which is cheaper. So you got that in play. So. Hunter Henry, cash play. All right, let's keep it moving. Almost done. We got Logan Thomas. Love Logan Thomas. Like I said, love Washington stack this week. Logan Thomas is in a great play this week. $3,300 for Logan Thomas, who has been doing justice, y'all. He should get 15. I'm predicting 15 fantasy points and a touchdown this week. He's averaging 5.8 targets, 3.1 receptions a game, 3 touchdowns so far for the year. Cincinnati is averaging 16.6 fantasy points win away. 64 yards allowed to tight ends for the season. 5.3 receptions allowed. They are 31st in ranking against tight ends. Logan Thomas, again, is a good spot at 3,300. Definitely thinks a good upside play for Logan Thomas here. So Logan Thomas, good spot here with 3,300. It's too cheap, knowing what you can do. So Logan Thomas, we'll put L Thomas because I think it's another play. L Thomas. L Thomas. All right, let's keep it moving. Almost done. Getting things. This is actually pretty fast. It's pretty fast on this end. Looking at Detroit. If I want to go Detroit, I guess, but we gotta keep in consideration with what's his name, Stafford. I don't know if Stafford's gonna be playing or not. Let me double check with Stafford. Let me just double check real quick. Stafford. Stafford's questionable. He was limited participant on Thursday practice, tending to a sprained right thumb. Aftermath from Sunday's win over Washington, but Stafford was withheld from the Lions for first week. On practice Wednesday, he was held. He was back on the field Thursday. However, Kyle Minke noted that the quarterback donned a supportive device to protect the torn ligament in his thumb. Minke notes that though Stafford only threw about 9 light passes during the open portion of the practice, the Lions remain optimistic that he will be able to tough it out and play Sunday against the Panthers. Even if that's the case, Stafford could find himself without 2 of his top weapons as running back Swift concussion protocol. Kenny Galladay hip failed to take part in Thursday's practice. I don't know about this one. I want to go Hawkinson here, but we're not sure with Stafford. It's so much question marks with Detroit now. We already, how many people we listed? Swift, Galladay, Amendola. Oh yeah. Let me drop down Jones. We got Jones in there. We got Jones. We got Stafford. All these players are like, it's crazy. All these players on Detroit are questionable. Let me move the stacks over here. Move this. There we go. There we go. Stafford, Swift, Galladay, Jones, Amendola, all questionable. So we don't know what they're gonna do. Let's keep it moving. Damn, Russell Wilson scored another touchdown to lock, of course. Who scored a touchdown for Cardinals? Oh, King and Drake. Oh man, I already know my shit shot already. Okay, now we got Hayden Hurst. 4,400 for Hayden Hurst. He's been balling in the last 4 games. Hayden Hurst had 16 against Minnesota, 13 against Detroit, 10 against Carolina, 13 against Denver. Now you're going against the Saints, and the Saints is averaging 5.3 receptions allowed to the position, 53 yards allowed. They're 28th against the position, 15.9 fantasy points allowed when at home. So going against the Saints here, Hayden Hurst could be a viable play at 4,400. His targets are there. He's averaging 6 targets a game, 4.1 receptions a game. Like, Hayden Hurst is in play here at 4,400. Definitely a cash spot here. Favorite stacks list. All right, so you can put Hayden Hurst. Something to consider here. All right, let's keep it going. And we have they were almost done. They were done. I think I talked about Dalton Schultz. He averaging 6.1 targets a game, 3.6. I think we're almost done. I think that's about it. I don't really see anybody else I really like here. So you got Logan, Hurst, Henry. Got Mark Andrews. Obviously, he's in a good spot against the Titans. He's getting targets. Whoa. Wow. Whoa. You're a mouse. Alright, baby. It's almost time for a bath. Okay? Almost bath time? Ba sheep. Ba sheep. 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes.
1,
potato, 6 potatoes, 7 potatoes more. Too many. Stop touching stuff. Hold on, stop it. 3 potato, 4. 6 potato, 7 potato more. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. Potato, 4. 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potato more. Let me look at Eric Ebron real quick. Eric Ebron, 4K. Looking at Jacksonville. Jacksonville allows 4.1 receptions, 57.9 yards a game, 10.4 fantasy points allowed when at home. But looking at his stats playing at Jacksonville, he had 16 in 2018. Last time he played at Jacksonville was 2018. So it's going to be iffy to call Eric Ebron here, but he's averaging 5.4 targets, 3.4 receptions. I'm not really sold on him. So that's about it, y'all. That's what I like here. Let me know what you think about it in the chat. These are my favorite plays for cash and GPP for this week, for week 11. Let me know. All right, we're also going to go into the defense real fast, and then we're going to go into a lineup construction for Draftkings and also for FanDuel. Like I said, we will be using Draft Dashboard tools for this, and it's an awesome tool. I wouldn't stand by it if I didn't think so, but they do sponsor the video, so I appreciate them. But of course, we could go with the Steelers defense. They average 8.8 fantasy points when away. 10.3 fantasy points a game. They average 4 sacks, 1.2 interceptions a game. Don't touch the keyboard. So of course, Steelers is going to be a cash play. They're obviously going to be the most expensive team to target this week. Steelers. Yucky. Yucky. Yucca. We got Dolphins. $3,400 for Dolphins is in a good spot. They averaging 9.2 fantasy points a game, 8.5 fantasy points when away. Looking at Denver, opposing defenses are allowed 10.6 fantasy points to opposing defense. Dolphins averaging 2.4 sacks, 1.9 interceptions, 0.7 fumbles, only allowing 20.6 fantasy points allowed a game. They're actually pretty good, man. Dolphins been real good, y'all. And they won 5 games straight. Dolphins real good. They even played my Niners. They got 12 fantasy points against my Niners and went away. So Dolphins is in a good spot, man. 3,400 for Dolphins. Still a great spot to look at. Of course, I think it'd be more of a cash play for Dolphins too, even though they're 34. Dolphins in good play. So you've got Washington. I think Washington would be a real sneaky play against the Bengals. They averaging 8.4 fantasy points when at home. They averaging 3 sacks a game, 0.9 interceptions a game. Let's see, Cincinnati opposing defenses are allowed 8.1 fantasy points, 2.3 touchdowns a game. I think Washington football team is a great GPP stack for defense. So I like the Washington defense here. I think at this price tag at 2,900, you could do a lot. So I think GPP wise, I think you can go Washington here. WFT football team. Definitely in play at $2,800 for them is too cheap. I'm sorry, 2,900. Sorry, 2,900. Browns. I'm not really sure about the Browns, but going against Philly, I don't really see anything in Philly this week. The Browns is averaging 2.4 sacks, 0.8 fumbles, averaging 8 fantasy points when at home. That's one thing about the Browns. They're real good at home, man. And Philly opposing defense is averaging 8 fantasy points allowed to opposing defense. Phillies averaging 1.3 interceptions a game. I think Browns is a good play at home. Browns always been a good play at home. So you get them for what, 3K? I mean, they're gonna be low owned. So I think Browns a good play. Browns. What else? Who else is a good play? We didn't talk about Cleveland like that. Cowboys against Pittsburgh? Nah. I think that's about it, y'all. Alright, let's keep it going. Let's go. If you like the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let's keep it going. Let's go ahead and give you my lineup for Draftkings and also for FanDuel. Alright, and then we'll be done. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the window capture, lock it in. Oh, I don't mean to lock it in. Alright, let's go and drag. I didn't mean to drag that over. There we go. Let's lock this in. Let's move my camera up like this. Alright, and let's go ahead and give you a lineup real fast for DraftKings, and then we'll go ahead and load up for FanDuel. Alright. Okay. So we talked about Justin Herbert. You got Justin Herbert against Jets. 6,800 is still a great price. If you want to put Dalvin Cook at running back, 9K is still obviously a great play to consider. We talked about Zeke at 6,500. I talked about Damian Harris if he plays. Keen Hines, Burkhead, Ahmed. So I was to go Ahmed at 4,800. I think he's a great GPP play for Ahmed here at 4,800. If I changed Herbert to go, it'd be more of a GPP line for me. Alex Smith, 5,300. Dalvin Cook would be a nice play at 9K if you want to pay up that price. I think he's a good spot against Dallas overall. But nonetheless, you're going to go 74 for Allen. We talked about McLaurin at 6,900. Could be a valuable play if you want to pair him up. We got Michael Thomas. You want to see? Let's see if we could put in Michael Thomas. Logan Thomas for Washington. We talked about Washington football team. Let's change Myers. Let's see. We got somebody. We got a few people that was in the 3K range. Okay, so I can't go that low. So let's go Cam Sims at 3,300. I don't know. I don't think we have to go that low. Let me go ahead and make changes real fast. Let me see a mod. Let's see if I can change it up. Can I make changes from him? We got Burkhead. We talked about Burkhead. This could be a great play. You got Alex Smith, Rex Burkhead, Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, Logan Thomas, Cam Sims, Washington football team. Great stack. Great Washington stack, and still 50,000. Great stack right there. All right, we can go that route. We talked about Herbert. We have a Herbert line. Let's say we want to go and put Damian Harris. Like we talked about how Houston they just give up a lot against running full force, you know. Damian Harris, 5,700. Let's say we want to pivot from what's his name? Dalvin Cook. But let's say you want to go Naheem. You go with Naheem Hines at 52. You got J.D. McKissick at 5,200. You got Mike Davis, 6,800. And we talked about. We got Nakeem Hines. I love Nakeem Hines. Let's go 4,800 for Ahmed. Let's try to get some savings here. And where she could go Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen a lot. As you can see, I love Allen a lot here. We got Michael Thomas. If you don't think he's gonna do well, let's say he might not do good here. We got a lot of other options, y'all. Like we could go with Jacoby Myers. We talked about Myers, 4,900 for Myers. Logan Thomas, love Logan Thomas here, but nonetheless, we got Hayden Hurst. We talked about him. Austin Hooper, but I love Logan Thomas at 3,300. It's still too cheap, and you can also pay up from Sims. So you want to go Michael Thomas? That's something you could do. You got Herbert, Ahmed, J.D. McKissick, Allen, Lauren, Myers, Thomas, Michael Thomas, Washington football team, 500 remaining. You can make changes. You could change the Dolphins defense, and that's save that. Like as you can see, Draft Dashboard is real hands-on, real hands-on, easy to use, y'all. And like I said, you can go once you sign up, go to your saved lineups. The lineups are usually saved, like I just did right here. You can go to export. You can export your lines. You can export it, save it. You see what I'm saying? You can save it, and you can just export it to your Draftkings account. You can export it to your FanDuel. Real easy to use, y'all. So keep that in mind when you do this stuff, man. It's so simple. See, you got your codes. So as you can see, you got your codes for your lines. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple to use. Also easy to do. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the draft. Let's go to FanDuel. They're going to optimize it for FanDuel real fast, and then we'll be done with the video. Thank you all for tuning in with me. Thank you for staying in tune with me in this video. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, you could do a Ben Roethlisberger. We talked about Ben Roethlisberger, 8K. He only need 3 times his value, so he could give you 21 plus. He's able to give you 21 plus here. If you want to go Mike Davis at 74, you go Mike Davis. Let's see. Let's get some more. Let's try some more value here. Let's go. Stop it, people. Don't do that again. You got Nakeem Hines. You could do like a little value play with Nakeem Hines at 6,100 against Green Bay Packers, knowing that he's more of a pass catching running back. Leave it alone.
No what?
I know.
That's right.
Damien Harris. You can go Damien Harris with this play against Houston.
Beep beep
Beep beep beep. Beep beep beep.
beep beep.
Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and down. You got Jakeem Grant at 4,600. He's still too cheap here at 4,600. What he could do? Beep beep. Let's do Alex Smith. I love Alex Smith. So let's do a 6,600 with Alex Smith. You got Hakeem. You got Terry McLaurin. Let's see if we get Sims in there. Let's try and get like another.
Me.
Huh?
Duh.
So Sims is 5K. So you got Jakeem Grant at 4,600. Let's go ahead and put Michael Thomas. You can put Michael Thomas there at 82. We got Thielen at 79. Keenan Allen at 8K. I think Allen's going to go off. I think he'll give you at least 24. Keenan Allen's still a great play here. But then again, I love Michael Thomas at 82. Michael Thomas. Let's go and put him in there. Hayden Hurst is 55. Logan Thomas is still 52. Yucky. Yucky, 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 yucky. Yucky, 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 yucky. Yucky, yucky. And we still have Dalvin Cook. Boom. If you want to do a Dalvin Cook, you can. Like, it's crazy how you can, but you can.
Oh.
Let's say you might think Dalvin Cook might give you 50 points. Who knows? But, well, I'm sorry, not 50 points. He can give you 30-plus points. So you got Alex Smith, Nakeem Hines. You might could change it if you don't want to go Nakeem Hines. You can still go up to Mike Davis. Still not bad. You go Alex Smith, Mike Davis, Damon Harris. You got Jakeem Grant for value. McLaurin, Thomas, Logan Thomas, Dalvin Cook, Washington football team. Still a great play to look at. You might make changes to Grant if you want to go. I talked about Zacchaeus only if Ridley's out. He's a great value play at 4,700. You could pay him only if Ridley's out. Keyword: if Ridley's out, you can play him. But as you can see, you got some good value plays at 4K for FanDuel. We talked about Keelan Cole at 5.3. You can still go Cam Sims. We talked about Cam Sims at 5K. You can go here if you want to go Washington stack. That's something you can look at for Washington stack. And like I said, you still have Dalvin Cook in the mix. Like, you could change Michael Thomas since you can't pay up. So you could go this route. Alex Smith, Mike Davis, Damon Harris, Sims, McLaurin, Allen, Logan, Cook, Redskins. Something you could do that. Let's see. Let's get away from that. Let's go. I just love Alex Smith. I think it's a great play here, but nonetheless, let's see what else you could go. You go Ahmed. You can change Harris if you want to go like Burkhead. I think Burkhead is more expensive. He's 59. So Burkhead is actually more expensive than Harris on FanDuel. That's iffy, but those are the plays I'm looking at, y'all. As you can see, it's real simple to do. But I'm making good lineups. It's just at the end of the day, these players gotta play gotta play good. Let's go Pittsburgh. Let's say we go Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger, we talked about him. We talked about Juju doing well at 65. We talked about Deontay Johnson doing good. Where's Deontay Johnson? He's 6,400. You go to Steelers defense. You want to play Steelers defense? I mean, they're 5K, but you can make it work. You could go. You can pivot from Dalvin Cook, maybe go Michael Thomas, and boom, you got a line. You know what I mean? You could change. You got Steelers, Michael Thomas, Logan Thomas, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Juju, Damon Harris. You can change Harris if you don't want to play him. You may go Swift if he's playing. If Swift's playing, put him in there. If you feel like you want to play Connor, you can. You can put him in there. Save Connor in there. If you want to go Pittsburgh stack. Like I said, it's easy to do. It's simple. It's simple to do, y'all. Like it. You see how easy it is to do, and we're using the plays that we talked about this tonight. So it's not like I'm giving you BS plays. I'm giving you plays that we already talked about, and they could give you upside. So these are plays I'm looking at, y'all. If you like the plays, give a thumbs up. Definitely share. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Love y'all, man. Y'all take care. It's Mel DFS, and y'all stay blessed. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.